Okay. Hopefully we should be live. Hopefully I can see it started recording. Hello everybody. Epic Gladiator, Liha. I'm sorry if I butcher any of the names. Carl de Avila. Dude, I am terrible with names. Hello, it's starting. Okay, you guys can hear me, right? So, how many people? 14. Alright. What's up, Saturi? Hello, Carl de Avila. I am really sorry if I'm butchering that. What's up? Nothing much. Just going on a stream. Sorry if I sound a bit under the weather. I got sick. Figures. Nothing too major, but my nose and throat are somewhat of a mess, so sorry if I go on any coughing sprees. I'll try to mute myself if I feel it coming, so I'll do my best to to not cough in the microphone. Big fan. Thank you. Accidentally found this. Do you know this channel, or did you just absolutely by complete accident just find it? Mr. Amusava, stream, I am in you. Hello. Hope you feel better. Thanks. Imagine if Saitama got a low taper fade. Baboin, hello. Top 50, dang, that's so much work. Yeah, I wanted to make this into a video. We have 30 people now, so I think we can start. So, I wanted to make this into a full video, but the thing is, I just don't have the time. I'm working on Boros Turned Good currently, episode 7. Which, by the way, if you're wondering on that, it's still a ways away. It ended up being over 25,000 words. And I'm cutting it down a little bit. Not cutting it down, but splitting it into more episodes now. At first it was planned to be 20k, but now it's 25. No, I'm not doing it all in one episode. Because it would be 3 hours now, not even 2, as I said in that post earlier, in a community tab, if anyone's seen that. So, yeah, we're gonna end up splitting the original episode 7 into 2 parts, because there's no way, I'm doing 3 hours. So yeah, there's gonna be one that's almost 2 hours long, or nearing that, at least an hour and a half. And then there's gonna be another one. So, it's gonna be a long time still, because I've been pretty busy IRL, so not exactly ideal conditions for the episode to come out, but I'm working on it, and it's going pretty good. I want to release a trailer decently soon, maybe in a couple weeks, for the upcoming arc. I'm still struggling to find an exact name for it, but I'll figure it out. And now, for this one, I want to continue the annual tradition of One Punch Man ranking videos, because last year, the year before that, and even the year before that, 3 years in a row, I already did ranking videos on One Punch Man. At first it was top 10, then it was top 17, then it was top 20. Now I'm doing top 50, but more so in a tier list format. I do have another tier list already at the ready. Let me just pull it up real quick so that I can see it, because I had to go do some stuff, and I didn't have the time to properly set everything up. I should also probably put on some background music. Hold on. Let me see. Let me first find that that tier list that I already completed, so that I don't have to rearrange it again off the top of my head. And yeah, sorry if I stutter a bit. It's just the way it is. Alright, there we go. Found it. Yeah, this is gonna be a pretty long stream, but it's gonna be fun. And sorry if I struggle to keep up with chat, because I'm gonna be ranking characters, and I want this to be somewhat rewatchable, so I can't really like keep talking with the chat while also like in between talking about the tier list. Because then, like, upon rewatch, like, if anybody wants to see my thoughts on it later, it's not gonna hold up at all, because then it's gonna be constantly interrupted. So once we actually start, it's gonna be... without interruption for the most part. Hey man, loving your videos, keep up, thank you. Ranking video of any anime verse. I did want to do like ranking every anime character I know at one point, but that would be 10 hours long. Doodlebob versus One Punch Man universe. I'd need to check up on SpongeBob scaling for that one. Cut it down to 180 1-minute shorts. That would be wild. Will you split episode 7 into parts like episode 3 or literal separate parts? It'll be 2 episodes. So like episode 7 and then episode 8. And then... yeah, that's gonna be how it goes. Before we start, can I ask you something? Yeah, sure. Will Boros be part of the top 6 strongest of the One Punch Man universe so far, falling behind Blast and Empty Void? We shall see. Shouldn't this top 50 be easy? There are definitely a lot of contentious placements. Armored Gorilla better be on the list. Have you seen Terrifier? I have not. Alright, so... let me get some water real quick. Gotta stay hydrated. Also, let me put on some background music. Because... I don't know, it just seems more cozy that way. Let me just find something. Up, got an ad, of course. I'm never buying ad blocker or... well, not ad blocker, but like YouTube Premium. I'm never buying that one. I refuse. I just refuse to pay for YouTube Premium. It's never gonna happen. Okay, there we go. Should be good now. Let me know if my microphone is okay actually, like is everything good in terms of volume? Because I'm pretty sure I can make it louder if I need to. Will there be multiple Garo, other characters' forms, excluding Saka's Orochi? Yeah, I'll get to it when we get to the tier list. Like, I'll get to the rules of everything. All good microphone eyes? Yeah, is good, yeah. Alright. Does Saitama get stronger every day by default? He does, but we just can't quantify by how much, because the VGS, in my opinion, is pretty unreliable. And there are arguments to, like, debunk that whole one-shot himself from yesterday thing that happens. Same, I'm not getting YouTube Premium. Please add multiple versions of Garo. I'll do that when I finish the top 50 and, like, show the tier list. And then I'll put up all the versions of Garo. Boros top 1. Yes, sir. Oh no, he figured it out. He looked into the future. He figured out my placement. Oh no. Alright, so. One more sip of water. So, how's the music, by the way? Too quiet, too loud? Pretty sure it stopped playing right now. There we go. Is this good for the music? Just want to make sure everything is set up, because when I start, I'm not gonna stop. I'm probably not gonna look at the chat either. We already know your top 20 strongest, and I don't think your opinions have changed that much. Yeah, but you don't know top 50. That's the interesting part, I believe. I'm gonna see released Boros below Tats and perfected Fist Garo, right? You know that's not true though. You know me. I'm sick, I hope you feel better soon. You too. Hope you feel better. The real goats are the ones who joined before the Boros Turn Good series, which doesn't include me. Yep. I mean, no, not real. Like, they're the originals, but I like you all, guys. I like all of you. I appreciate all of you. Boros Turn Good was like the big explosion that really got the channel off the ground. Like, the first one was what if Naruto became Hokage after Pain's assault? And now I'm getting notes from YouTube to insert an ad. No thank you. I have turned ads to manual, so like, unless I set it to happen, it shouldn't happen, which I'm not gonna set it to happen, so hopefully there are no ads on here. All good for the music, a little louder, that's good. Alright. I think this should be good. Let me see my OBS. Yeah, I think this should be good. Alright, give me one moment and then we'll start. Alright, sorry about that. I said I'd mute myself if I ever needed to like blow my nose or anything, so sorry if there are occasional pauses. Okay, so one last look at the live chat and then I'm going. W streamer, no ads. Yeah, hopefully there shouldn't be any. Gums over Boros? Oh god. Does he get sponsored though? I have not gotten sponsored yet. I sponsor myself. I love how the meteor is on the list. How's your final school year going? Pretty good. Lots of things to do, but I'm keeping up on top of things, so it's good. Wonder if Darkshine will even be able to get into this top 50. Oh, absolutely. Darkshine is a beast. He's like the gatekeeper of like the highest tiers. Oh, the music got way louder. Hold on, what? I don't think this one is exactly balanced. Because it keeps, like, the tracks keep getting louder or quieter. Hold on. Let me change it real quick, because that one was getting all over the place. At least from what I could hear. Okay, hopefully this one should be better. Alright. Better see an episode where Boros fails to get a mosquito. We're gonna read the chat after the stream. I will try to, but I'm not gonna be able to keep up with everything. When Satoru gets sponsored, he will use Boros' voice. That would be a good idea. Very curious to see where the meteor would go. Yeah, well, we can talk about it later. Who's the weakest One Punch Man character you think can solo the USA military? Probably like Deep Seeking and all those guys. Like, I don't think a tiger is quite making it, but a demon should. Eternal Flame, hello. Alright, let's start. We have been at it long enough now, so enough prelude. So we are going to be using a tier list from Mr. Perfect Cell. He has a very dope YouTube channel, you should check it out. If you like Google Mr. Perfect Cell, Cell vs. Deborah, or Boros vs. Garo, it should pop up. So this was made by him, this entire template, which I am very grateful for. And how this is gonna work is we are gonna be... I won't scroll up because I have already put the honorable mentions on the tier list. So we don't have to go through all of those, because there's a lot. But anyways... The rule is only one version of a character allowed for the most part. I will separate Orochi, Psychos, and Sairochi into different characters, as well as Black S and Platinum S. but pretty much everybody else will be only one version. After the tier list is done, after I make the top 50, then we can add some Garo forms, where the other characters sort of scale. So, I believe that's pretty much it for the rules. So, yeah, let's just get started with the honorable mentions. There's quite a lot. I'm not going to talk about them in depth, but these are here either because they got pretty close to making it, or because we just don't know enough from them, or they're too vague to really scale that much. So, for example, in that tier, we have Geryugenship and Gloribus, which we could get decently high. Because I know some arguments for them, but like other than that, that's like really vague. King, I didn't want to give him a spot because obviously he's just gonna go here, just like above Saitama, so it would be wasting a slot if we included him, because everybody knows he's the top dog. Melzargard just kind of bums in terms of feats, like, it's just kind of unfortunate, but like everybody he was fighting, including Puri, was like reacting to his blows and blowing him apart. Amai Mask, for scaling above all the top A-class heroes, including the Atomic Disciples, as well as like everyone from the Death Gatling squad who could sort of do something to Garo. Like Garo one-shot most of them, but they could at least threaten human Garo a little bit. So like they are as an honorable mention for just being able to do something to human Garo. Same with Golden Ball and Spring Mustachio, they are threatening to Garo enough for him to use the Water Stream. Combo Infinity then made those two pretty much into ragdolls. And she was listed, I don't know the gender of this thing, but it was listed as a tiger or higher. And the Hero Association could have just, like, not realized how strong it is. Because, like, for example, Marugori or Beefcake was listed as a demon originally. Even though we know he would have been bumped up to dragon if he kept on fighting people, so like Combo Infinity could be the same thing, she could have been up to a demon. And then also Spring Mustachio can just cut apart like tons of Black S cells, and he's relative to Ion when they both face off against Homeless Emperor's blasts. They like block at pretty much the same time. And Atomic's Disciple is pretty impressive just for also scaling to Spring Mustachio, because like via Ion and Spring Mustachio being pretty relative. Then we have some more people who, for example, Face Ripper and Awakened Cockroach both give Genos start of Season 2 a run for his money. After like a G4 upgrade as well. Which, I don't know, like should G4 be an honorable mention? Maybe, maybe not, but I won't bother bringing him in anymore. So yeah, these two could pressure like an early Season 2 Genos, which is a decent feat. Like they're some of the stronger demons. Free Hugger for damaging Puri Puri Prisoner, who like a few days later went on to one-shot monsters as strong as Deep Seeking and fought in the Monster Association raid. So this guy unironically makes the honorable mentions for that. Doas for fighting Fubuki, and also just like her ability is pretty threatening. But yeah, mainly for fighting Fubuki. She's like the only one where I'm iffy if she should even be on the honorable mentions, but I'll exclude her maybe, because she doesn't really have that much else going. Apollo, we just don't know how strong he is exactly. He beat Psychos, but she was like under sedatives. So, she was like under medicine and stuff like that, so we can't really scale that anywhere. Plus, she was like unconscious for who knows how long, just woke up, saw this thing, and then got one-shotted, so it's like, you can't really say she's at her top form there. Rhino Wrestler for scaling to the Disciples, pretty self-explanatory. Senior Centipede, because he was stated that like Genos' stronger blasts couldn't even scratch him. And like, as well as scaling above Metal Bat and base, or like at least 2 Metal Bat and base. And Metal Bat actually needed to pump up to kill him, so which is also a good feat. Then we have Full Power Suiryu, just like kind of vague in terms of scaling. I know like on the Professor Fiction Discord, I think it's Dull or maybe somebody else who has like a whole doc on like why Suiryu is like above Bang and stuff, but that one is a little bit of a highball, I would say. Then we have Chose. The biggest thing you can say to him is it's stated by Murata, or one, I don't remember which one exactly, but that his blast that he did against Suiryu was like as like the same type of blast as Vaccine Man and Homeless Emperor. But the thing is, we can't really quantify how strong it is. Like, Suiryu deflected it and chose it. Like, being the same type of blast, it's not the same as having the exact same AP. Like, we know Homeless Emperor's blast can vary in AP, you know, like from the giant spirit bombs to like the tiny ones. So, it just kind of pretty self-explanatory that I don't think he scales to like Homeless Emperor. But he is pretty strong. He could give Suiryu a good run for his money. Then we have Haragiri, who is a Council of Swordsmen member who, no spoilers, but like they are pretty impressive. They are on the list. And he is a monsterized Council of Swordsmen member, but then gets one-shot by Atomic Samurai, which is really weird because like Nichiren, for example, is able to combo with Atomic Samurai really well. And then this guy just gets one shot immediately. So he was likely like the weakest of the swordsmen, or at least weaker than Nichiren. And of course Atomic. Yep. So yeah, that's pretty much it for him. Devil Longhair for keeping up with all the disciples. And you know, like pretty confidently beating any one of them one-on-one. And almost beating them in a 3-on-1. So he's here. 100 Eyes Octopus just for surviving Flashy Flash for a bit. Like, this is unironically like an insane feat. Of course, he's like a poor matchup because he's huge and Flashy Flash can only do surface level wounds to it. Unless he like burrows inside of it or something. But it's still impressive. And then one-shotter. Because, you know, obviously the GOAT blitzing Sage Centipede 13 times. And actually doing enough, like, to stop his mandibles from attacking Garo for a moment. For long enough for Garo to break free of Sage's grip. So one-shotter the GOAT, like, above Dragon. And then Raiden and Wavy Gaza, apparently. I didn't even know her name before this. Those two just haven't had any showings yet, but I have a feeling they will be somewhere up there, like... I do think Raiden is gonna be above somebody like, I don't know, like base Tank Top Master or something, like probably with just the build-up he's getting. He doesn't scale to Darkshine just yet, or anything like that, because Darkshine is obviously extremely mentally bullied right now. It's sad, but he is. And then she's just like pretty implied to be maybe above Suiryu. And just in general, like, she's one of the top dogs of the Neo heroes who are gonna be, like, I'm assuming the next antagonists, or, you know, at least something like that. Like, she's an equivalent of the S-Class for them. So, yeah, probably gonna be up there later, but for now we just don't really have any feats. And then Gearspur Full Power, just for the one statement from Fubuki, that when he went full power, she for a moment mistook him for Tatsumaki. Like, that alone... In terms of raw power, he had to be, like, pretty goddamn insane. If Fubuki just, like, felt him from, like, miles underground and just went, my sister? No, that's something different. But, like, for a moment, she thought Gearspur was Tatsumaki. So yeah, like, even if it's, like, a super hyper-suppressed Tatsumaki, I still find it hilarious that this guy got at least, like, somewhat of a comparison to her, so that's why he's here. And then, also I didn't address these three. Marugori, Vaccine Man, and Bakuzan. Vaccine Man and Marugori, just like, either they don't have any scaling whatsoever, or they just scale below base Carnage Kabuto, who base Metalbat can keep up with. So, yeah, it's really bad either way for them. And I'm just gonna say they're unknown, so they're here. And then Bakuzan, of course, beat Suiryu pretty badly. Suiryu did, like, on the verge of, like, passing out and stuff, break his toe, so it's not like the gap is super gigantic. Because if Suiryu was at full power, he probably could give Bakuzan, like, a decent run for his money, at least, if he could break his toe just, like, from, like, basically, not near death, but, like, super exhausted and just bullied by Goketsu. So yeah, Bakuzan does make the list. You could make the argument that Goketsu thinks he is worthy of being called a dragon-level threat, which in the Monster Association would make him a cadre. So if you want to go with that, he could go maybe like low cadre. Maybe, but other than that, there's really not that much to him, so I just leave him in honorable mentions. So yeah, that is that. And then for the tiers, real quick, just like to explain the tiers. Nier Cadre, pretty self-explanatory. Like all these Cadre tiers is like pretty self-explanatory. I feel like the Nier Cadre is one where people can at least like somewhat do something to a Cadre, right? Like they can at least tussle with them for like a few moments, you know, like they're not just gonna get instantly one shot out of existence against a Cadre, like against a lower one. Against some of the higher ones, yeah, definitely, but like against Gums, they're not gonna like die instantly. Low Cadre is pretty self-explanatory. I think we all know who's gonna be what boy is gonna be there, the head honcho of that group. Mid Cadre also, like High Cadre, B Cadre, that's like all self-explanatory. Above Dragon, also pretty self-explanatory, like people who just cannot be classified as dragons at all anymore, like they're just like Goliaths. Strongest on Earth, just like tier above Dragon, because I didn't want to go above Dragon, because that would be kind of silly of a name. Threat level God, Cosmic Entity, Saitama self-explanatory. So, yeah. That is pretty much it for the prelude. Oh. I just opened the chat taking notes to react to this later. Professor Fiction, hello. Alright. Then, moving on to the Cadre candidate tier. By the way, just like a fun fact, I did ask Professor Fiction to like criticize this list at one point, so yeah, might happen, who knows. Starting off, let me find that. I didn't want to arrange them in order, because then obviously you would know like who goes after who, so I kind of have to find it now, but it shouldn't be too difficult. I saw this guy earlier. I probably should have arranged this better. I definitely should have arranged this better. There we go. Royal Ripper at number 50. My number 50 is Royal Ripper. Could tango with Garo after the Bang battle, and while Garo does outspeed him pretty severely at points, like for example Royal Ripper goes for Tario from behind Garo, Garo notices the blade passing him, turns around and like blocks it, so Royal Ripper is definitely slower and weaker than Garo one-on-one, but the fact that he can at least be threatening to him after the Bang battle, after he presumably got a massive Zenkai boost from the generational beatdown that he received from Bang and Bomb and Genos and the 8 heroes, and like all the poisoning, all the damage, and Royal Ripper could keep up with him pretty well, and he could take like a kick to the stomach with no damage. He just overall did a very well against that version of Garo, which is way above Hero Hunter Garo, which should be more than enough to take out most of these guys, in my opinion. Again, aside from like the unknown tiers, maybe. And maybe a MyMask, but a MyMask just doesn't have that many feats, so he just like took a few hits from Fear Ugly, who might have been just toying with him, so just kind of... I personally have Royal Ripper above on MyMask. However, he does peak here, because Garo later, like after adjusting to their moves, to Royal Rippers and Bug Gods, he says, yeah, none of you are hitting me ever anymore. So I do think that in terms of combat, Royal Ripper is decently relative, but he caps off here. Then up next on the list is going to be another character that's kind of tricky, but I have G5. And G5, his whole deal, first off, he was confident against Royal Ripper when they met, or probably for the first time, when Garo wakes up and like there's that whole like meeting of the Monster Association happening. And G5 was pretty confident against Royal Ripper, so that's one thing. But he was also confident against Atomic Samurai, so if it was just that, I wouldn't rate him this high. But the thing is, Child Emperor looks at this guy, and he's like, yeah, this is a difficult enough opponent to where I would need to use up a lot of my gadgets to beat him, and I cannot waste that kind of time and resources. I have to get Waganma out of here. So just for impressing Child Emperor, I do think he deserves to be on the list somewhere, Because Child Emperor, like, even in base with the backpack, he's still really strong. And another thing as well, this is pre-redraw, because post-redraw it was pretty bad. But pre-redraw, he did clash with Playful Suppressed Atomic Samurai for a bit. And he also has that, like, final laser attack that should be at least light speed, because it's a laser, so... Don't know how impressive you think that is, compared to all the other guys in the honorable mentions, but it's still something to consider. And he did do kinda well against Suppressed Atomic before Atomic just, like, sliced him up. And his core did survive on Atomic Slash. Probably not, like, a full power one, but it's still impressive nonetheless. The only thing I'll say is, like, Atomic Samurai thought, like, he, like, banters with G5 and says, oh, you might be a good toy for my students to play around with. Like, I should buy them you as a training bot or something like that. But I think he was more so just being playful, because I cannot see any of the students impressing Child Emperor that much and, like, clashing with Suppressed Atomic that well. So yeah, G5 is my pick for the number 49 spot. Now the next three... okay. I'm gonna get flack for these ones for sure, but Unihorn... Showerhead and Super Mouse. So, okay. Okay, hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out, okay? So Garo, he wakes up after getting slashed apart by Royal Ripper really badly. And then he comes in, punches Ripper's head off, and just slices him into ribbons with the Whirlwind Fist. And then, that same exact Garo, he, like, eats a couple more monsters, presumably, like, gets refilled on stamina and whatnot, and then he fights these three. He kicks Unihorn into the wall. Full power kick, no reason for him to hold back, he's protecting Tario. Unihorn just gets up, punches Showerhead in the head, and cracks it, but does not knock it off of him. Like, direct comparison, he punches Ripper in the head, blows his head clean off. Showerhead just takes it. Like, he doesn't tank it, he gets cracked, but he survives it, which is the main thing. And then Super Mouse gets hit with a Whirlwind Slashing Fist to the arm, and again, it does not chop him apart like Royal Ripper. It does deal damage, but he regenerates it, and it didn't, like, chop him into pieces. And they all are able to take attacks from the Garo that can one-shot Ripper. Like, it's so weird, but, like, it's still something to consider. And then their ultimate move gets, like, easily deflected by Garo. So, like, they're not, like, Garo level, but the very fact that they can take hits from him and, like, at least do a little bit to him, I don't know, like, they're pretty cracked. Now, Royal Ripper did pierce Garo's side, even after Garo got that Zenkai boost. Like, right before Garo punches his head off, he does pierce Garo's side. So, like, in terms of AP, he might be better than these guys, but in terms of durability, they should be way better. At least that's how I see it, but, like, it's kind of hilarious, but just kind of how it is. And against G5, I'm not sure, like, these guys are interchangeable, like, personally. Because I'm really fine with, like, anything in terms of, like, where you rank G5 among these guys. Could be above, could be below. I just think these guys have, like, a more concrete showing, but, like, G5 could be above them. It's just, like, up to how you interpret it. And then we have, drumroll please, the strongest demon, transformed Bug God. Now, I do believe that Bug God should be above these guys, because first of all, even in base, he's implied to be above Royal Ripper. He just stops his sword pretty effortlessly, and Gero also instructs him to, like, stop Royal Ripper before things go too far, and that's base Bug God, so he should already be above that Royal Ripper tier. Garo also tries to punch him and, like, nearly breaks his hand, like, blood gushes out of his knuckles, so even in base, Bug God is already, like, above that Royal Ripper. And, like, probably could contend a little bit with Garo, the way these guys did. And then he transforms on top of that, which should provide a decent boost as well. And, like, he's completely confident that, like, yeah, nothing can, like, destroy my shell. This insect ultimate exoskeleton is, like, the strongest thing in the universe, you know? of course, the Darkshine that just pops him, but even just like the fact that he should scale that much above Royal Ripper, because he has another transformation on top of his base, I think it should place him at least in a comparable tier to these guys, probably above. So yeah, that is my... Which one is it now? 50, 49, 48, 47, 46, 45, right? So this is my 45th person on the list. Now moving on, we have the first probably pretty controversial one. Let me just find this man. This convict, I can say. Where are you? Where is this guy? There we go. Puri Puri Prisoner. I did sort of read up on the whole Puri Puri Tank Top Master thing, because I was like, it could go either way maybe, but then like, I'm not ashamed to admit it, I watched like multiple videos on the topic, seeing what other people thought. I watched Professor Fiction, Yasin, Mr. Perfect Cell to get like their arguments, what they think, to decide what I think. And yeah, I think the arguments for Tank Top Master are more compelling. So I didn't have the time to reread the whole series, so that's kind of why I did that, but yeah, Puri Puri Prisoner, Bristle Armor, really impressive. Can at least do something to Psycho Sorochi, like when it's in mush form, and can survive hits from Garo sleeping after the Orochi battle. But the thing is, he is completely paralyzed after just one flurry, compared to Tank Top Master, who gets his own strength redirected back at him, which gives him a pretty severe concussion probably, because it's like his own strength redirected at him at twice the power from human Garo. And then on top of that, Garo like attacks his joints, his weak points. He utilizes the water stream to like pretty severely target his like weak points and internal organs and stuff. Which this Garo, completely feral, the one that went against Puri Puri Prisoner, couldn't do. So I do believe that while Puri Puri is surviving this blow, or this assault from Garo, is impressive, it's like, it's not the be-all and end-all, because Tank Top Master already got a concussion and like severe daze just from getting his own strength redirected back at him. And then he was just free pickings for Garo to just wail on with like surprise precision attacks that are meant to like break the joints and stuff. And then Puri Puri, also, his abilities are pretty good. His regeneration, obviously a good thing, but like, against Neon, for example, he like gets his chest ripped open. Like, if he was a normal guy without regeneration, that is straight up death. Like, he just gets completely mauled there. And then, again, he doesn't tank it, he survives it and then regenerates. But the wound was fatal, like, for 100% certainty, he would have died. So, even against Neon, you can't really say that much, because Neon also, like, freaked out, because he, like, reminded him of our, like, obsessive owner and stuff like that, so then Neon just dipped. So, yeah, Puri Puri Prisoner, still impressive, one-shots monsters as strong as Deep Seeking, in base, 50% power, then, like, gets all these abilities and stacks up damage on top of that. I think he could defeat these guys. Like, the very fact that he survives blows from the stronger Garo, I think should mean that he could live through blows from the Garo that fought these guys. And I think he does have a very good chance of beating Transformer God. That's like a pretty good matchup. What do you guys think? Bagad versus Puri Puri Prisoner? Like, which one is stronger in a matchup? But personally, I would probably side with Puri, but that's just me. And then moving on to the next placement, we have another S-Class hero. Quite the glutton, you could say. I just need to find this man on the list. While I try to find his picture, because I am blind, I can probably start talking about him. So Pigod, what he does is he survives against Gums. Were you expecting me to say something else? Were you expecting more arguments? Okay, listen. Pigod, what he does is he survives a battle against Gums, but he gets, like, chomped. Like, he's bleeding, he is... Oh, there we go. Finally found him. He's bleeding, he is, like... He's enduring. But he's not really fighting back. Like, they clash one time with their teeth, and, like, in one of the freakier One Punch Man drawings, I would say. And then it's just cut to him, like, bleeding out and Gums' mouth. And, like, he can also, like, shove Gums hard enough to make him let go of Tank Top Master. And like, that's kind of it. And he just eats demons. Like, I'm not really sure what else Pigod has. Like, I might even put him below Prisoner, maybe? Like, I'm not sure about this one. I think he might be above just because his endurance and, like, he does have that, like, secret weapon, whatever that may be. I don't know, maybe he can go into, like, cosmic entities with a secret weapon. Maybe he can box up Empty Void, but we just don't know. And he just really doesn't have feats. Like, I'm not sure what to say for him. Because, like, what does he do? Like, am I missing something, or is he just featless? Aside from surviving against Gums for a while. I don't know. So, that's kind of that placement. Then, another S-Class hero. Let me find him real quick. This man is famous for his magic tricks. For his magic tank top, specifically. If I can find him, that would be great. No, seriously, why am I so bad at finding these men? Where is he? Where is Tank Top Master? I am blind. Anyways, Tank Top Master, pretty impressive. There we go. Oh, wrong one. Pretty impressive showing against Garo, because, like, base to base, he bullies Garo real bad. Like, he just decimates Garo without the water stream, and then forces him to use the water stream. And, like, you could maybe argue as well that if Garo just used the water stream right off the bat, Tank Top Master actually could have had a much easier time. Because right now, he was just caught completely unprepared. Like, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna finish this guy off right now. Like, I'm throwing a punch. And then instantly, this guy who Tank Top Master was dominating the whole time just suddenly hits him back with twice his own force to the chin. So, like, I think that if Garo just used it right off the get-go, and Tank Top Master actually got to see what he's like before going all out, I feel like he could have had a much easier time against Garo. Because right now, like, that was a complete surprise attack, basically. They are, like... It was basically like fighting Goku, dominating him in base, and then being confident you'll win, going in for the finishing blow, and then he turns Super Saiyan. Like, that's kind of what happened here. But if that was the only thing, I would still place him here, but... He just straight up just grabs Gums' mouth, or gets grabbed by Gums' mouth, and just holds it up. Like, he is able to resist Gums' bite force twice in a row, and just being able to do that to a cadre, even if it's the weakest cadre of them all, is still a very good showing. And yeah, he just does, like, blatantly, in terms of raw power, resist Gums, who's, like, trying really hard to bite down on him. Like, you look at panels of, like, Pigod trying to, or like, of Gums trying to bite down on Pigod, and he looks chill. He's like, yeah, I'm eating this Big Mac right now. Against Tank Top Master, he's, like, all veiny. He's, like, really trying. Like, you can see he's really, really trying, and Tank Top Master's just holding his own. So I think just with that, his raw power should be above these guys. So, yeah, I would say Tank Top Master probably should be pretty high. As well as scaling above, like, slightly pumped up Metal Bat as well. Because, again, this is, like, from those videos that I watched specifically for Tank Top Master and Puri Puri. But, like, he does force Garo to use the water stream, whereas slightly pumped up Metal Bat after the Elder Centipede fight doesn't force Garo to use the water stream until pumping up even more. So this is Tank Top Master's placement. Yeah, and of course, like, that same That same metal bed that fought Garo one-shot Senior Centipede, so that's like just more scaling for Tank Top Master above the honorable mentions. And then we have Zombie Man as well. He can go anywhere, really. Like, he can go absolutely anywhere here, and I would not mind it one bit. But his endurance just allows him to outlast a lot of characters. Like, he outlasted Carnage Kabuto, fighting for a week straight, and then finished him off, presumably with like a gun or like an axe or something. So the very fact that he can like damage somehow a drained Carnage Kabuto is still pretty impressive, considering Carnage Kabuto could just blow at Genos' strongest lasers in base and just blow it right back at him. So Zombie should be somewhere on the list just via his sheer vitality. But he's not really, like, going anywhere up higher. Like, he's not contending with any other cadres. So yeah, these are the bottom tier characters, the near cadres. So this is like, what, 50, 49, 48, 47, 46, 45, 44, 43, 42, 41. 41. Nice, neat, before we get into the 40, before we get into the top 40. And I'm gonna blow my nose real quick, because I'm struggling here. Alright, I'm back. I got a chance to look at the chat, and hello! Professor Fiction, thank you for the $2. Your chat is downplaying Tank Top Goat. Keep reaching. I don't know what they're said because I wasn't looking, but thank you very much. I'll probably check it out after the stream is done. And then Baboin 10 BGN. I'm not sure what that is. Thank you very much as well. Thank you both so much. Let me hide those two real quick. Yep, thank you both so much. Let's celebrate their first super on a live stream. A super? Oh, like a first super chat. Alright. Congratulations on that as well. Zombie Man is favorite character. First uncovered. Alright. Alright, so now moving on without too much delay. Let me grab a sip of water and then we shall continue with your power scaling. Alright, so then, getting into the 40s, the low cadre tier. To start us off as somebody who you might not be expecting, it is Forest King. Because first of all, he just blatantly... Okay, not first of all, it's like the only showing he has. He like tanks a tank top tackle, sorry, from Tank Top Master after the Monster Association arc. And he just binds him and his entire crew, and you can see Tank Top Master is trying to break out, but he can't. So, just from that, I don't know if Tank Top Master would lose, necessarily, but at the same time, from what little we did get to see, it does appear that he was struggling very much. Like, Forest King just straight up tanked a Tank Top Tackle. So I do think that he should scale, like, above Tank Top Master. Maybe you could even scale him above Gums, because honestly, he did better than Gums against Tank Top Master. Maybe you could put him above Gums even, but for now, I'll just keep him here. And then obviously, he took, like, Lightning Core Genos to defeat, which we don't really know how strong Lightning Core Genos is. That's not really an anti-feat or anything like that, so Forest King is kind of here for just scaling possibly above Tank Top Master, I believe. And then, next up on the chopping block is the chonky boy himself, Gums. Again, kind of interchange. Honestly, I'm gonna put Gums below, because he's just so disappointing as a cadre. What does Gums do? Chomps Big God. What does Big God do? Survives Gums. That's kind of like... That's kind of it. In terms of feats. Also, Tank Top Master resists his bite, but it's clear that, like, Gums probably would have won in the long term. Because, like, he had Pig God pinned. Or, like, so he had Tank Top Master pinned. So, I think he probably would have won. But in general, like the cadres just like generally should scale above any demon of the Monster Association. Like Super Mouse, Shroudhead, and Unihorn, just take a look at Garo claiming he's dragon level, and they're like, nah, you're not even close, man. The cadres would tear you to shreds. So Gums should at least scale above these guys, and above Bug God, and above that version of Garo. Which I think is enough to, like, you know, he's a cadre, they're not. So just pretty blatantly via the Monster Association hierarchy, it should go like this. But yeah, Gums just doesn't really do much else. And then in a similar boat, another cadre that barely does anything is Neon. Now, Neon I do think is slightly more impressive, because whereas Gums is resisted by Tank Top Master, Neon just straight up one-shots Puri Puri Prisoner, which is like, okay, I think Tank Top Master is stronger than Puri Puri Prisoner, but like, they're still in like a similar league, sort of at least. So Neon just one-shotting this guy should probably mean probably I don't know why I keep saying he probably would be able to like outbox Tank Top Master. And then it fights Drive Knight, which honestly, that fight is kind of a slaughter, I'm not gonna lie. Like, Neon doesn't do one thing to Drive Knight until it slips into his armor and starts like punching him from the inside and slashing him and stuff. But other than that, like, okay, first of all, Drive Knight does like the whole motorcycle mode. Then he just sends Neon into the air, just instantly blitzes over to above Neon and just slams it back down to the ground. Then Neon resorts to going inside of Drive Knight. Drive Knight fries it. And then it tries to escape. Drive Knight just catches it and skewers it. Like, it's not a fight. Like, Drive Knight just massacred Neon. It's such a cool fight. So, I don't think Neon scales to Drive Knight, but at the same time, like, it should still be above Gums, I imagine. Probably Forest King as well. Maybe we just don't really know Forest King that well, but I would just rank them like this. Like, Neon doesn't scale to any of the upper S-class heroes, but it should still probably be above these guys just via being above all the demons. So, I would imagine that he should be somewhere here in the low cadre tier. And now moving on. This one is, I'm iffy on this one, alright? I'm just gonna say it, I'm iffy, but I'm also really impressed by this character and what they were able to pull off, so I will place them this high. And while I search, I'm gonna just grab a sip of water real quick. Talking ticks at all. So, this character is Monster Association Arc Fubuki. Okay, I know it's kind of a weird one, but hear me out. So, Rover. Playful or non-playful? He keeps up with Garo from the Rover fight pretty well. Like, they're moving in sort of relative speed to each other, right? They're jumping around at a relative speed. He's hitting blasts on Garo. Fubuki, without actually being carried by Bang & Bomb, I checked before this. I watched, before making the list, I checked the fight again just to make sure. There is not a single moment where Bomb and Bang, like, actually just grab her out of the way. She reacts in tandem with them to the blasts all the time. Like, she dodges on her own at a relative speed to Bang and Bomb, who are, like, obviously she's not as fast as they are, like, obviously not, but the fact that she dodges relative to those guys, the blast that Garo either couldn't dodge or didn't bother dodging, is already kind of impressive, right? Like, you have to admit it's kind of impressive. And then, and before that actually, she grabs one of Rover's blasts together with Bang & Bomb, probably with her hands covered in psychic energy, but she like straight up grabs one of those blasts alongside those two, and they slide backwards, but they like all hold the blast together, again in unison with Bang & Bomb, and then Bang redirects it elsewhere. And then also, of course, comes the big moment when she blocks blasts from Rover, or she blocks at least one, while also simultaneously enhancing Bang & Bomb. in that split second, in a blast that Bang and Bomb, like Bang was gonna try to redirect it, but there wasn't enough time for them to dodge, right? Like, if there was enough time for them to dodge, they would have, but they were instead going to try to redirect it. Which would mean Fubuki reacted and put up a shield and the armor on those two in the same amount of time that a blast that Bang and Bomb couldn't dodge point blank hit them. Like her speed is kind of cracked. Like, the only thing is her durability, like in terms of like her base durability and her attack potency. We don't know how high that is, but just her sheer speed and shields, like, I don't know, like, I cannot see Gums biting through that anytime soon or hitting her anytime soon. So, like, her AP is like the only thing which is questionable. But I do want to put respect on Fubuki because, like, I think she does have very good feats. Later, she kind of gets outshined by, like, Baby Rover. But I think you can chalk this up to maybe, like, a mental amp thing for Fubuki. Which is, like, she's super resolved to do this, and she's, like, going all out, like, putting her life on the line. She might be stronger than, like, just, like, base cautious Fubuki that's, like, afraid to fight monsters usually. And I know there are other anti-feats, like Geno says, like, oh, she's probably not capable of taking on anything other than a demon, or like above a demon. But like, again, I think she does get like a huge resolve amp or something of the lines against Rover, because like, I don't know, like her showings against Rover are just insane to me. And then also she fights Fatigued Psychos, and obviously that shouldn't scale to like full power Psychos at all. Psychos is super fatigued after the battle with Tatsumaki. But she does win that one, which should go for something, right? Like, it's not, like, super impressive, but I think it's worth mentioning at least. So yeah, this is one of those more interesting placements, I feel. And then last up in this tier, where is this guy? There we go. Watchdog Man. Now, he is weird. Honestly, you could argue he's like here or here. Like, you could argue he's bottom of low cadre or top of near cadre. But, okay, so first of all, his lore is good because he defends a city all on his own. And you have to imagine that there's probably been at least like one dragon level monster there at some point. But at the same time, dragon level monster could be Melzagard, who was getting outboxed by like everybody and has really, really bad feats. So I don't think that stands for that much. Other than that, like, his speed is hyped up as being really impressive, and, like, he beats up Hero Hunter Garo really badly, but doesn't kill him. Either he didn't want to kill Hero Hunter Garo, or he couldn't, which, that second one is terrible, but for somebody who's hyped up that much by the fandom. But if it's the first option, then that's fair. Like, maybe he just didn't want to kill a human being or something like that, I don't know. Like, I don't know, like, Watchdog Man is so weird, like, we just don't really know. Maybe I should have even put him in the honorable mentions, but I'll just keep him here. I think he should be, like, decently high here. Oh, also, Fubuki thinks, like, a My Mask is above her, but again, like, she's underconfident, at least early on, I feel. Because, like, again, like, she gets that huge resolve amp against Rover. That's the Fubuki I'm ranking. It's, like, specifically against Rover what she pulls off. Alright, let me get some more water and then I'll look at the chat briefly. Watchdog Man is above Dragon. Watchdog Man is in the unknown tier. Could be. Could be. I mean, I can do that. Watchdog Man is here, and then let's say, like, a My Mask is, like, bottom 50, something like that. We can do that. That's fine. Because I feel like a My Mask is probably the one that I have here. Oh, Evil Eye also, I forgot to talk about earlier. He's, like, blatantly, like, pretty... He impresses, like, a couple of the heroes, but nothing too much else, so I don't know. He could not be in the honorable mentions, but I find him cool enough to include him in the honorable mentions. Alright, so now moving up another tier. So this was 40, then, oh, well, with a My Mask here, then it's going to be like 39, this one, 38, 37, 36, right? So now moving on to 35, Yep, hold on, wrong tab open. I had the wrong tab open there. Oh my goodness. Watchdog Man moves down to the honorable mentions, and my mask moves up to the bottom of Nier Cadre. So then we have 36 now. 35 is another kind of weird one, but I think he does deserve to be here. He could be higher as well. He could be higher, but for now I'm just gonna place him here. It is going to be... I need to find this guy. Again, I probably could have said this up better, but it's Nichirin. Now, why is this random guy here? So first of all, this could include the other swordsmen, but I don't really see them on the list here. And just in general, like, they either are relative to Nichirin or they have no scaling, so... one way or another. They should be like above Spring Mustachio at least, and Nyan, but I'm just gonna say all the Council of Swordsmen, or just Nichirin in general, in mid-cadre, bottom mid-cadre, because, first of all, Atomic Samurai considers them all impressive enough to respect and roll with. Like, you gotta be strong to gain Atomic Samurai's respect, that's one thing, but, more impressively, Nichirin is actually able to, like, cut between atoms, which Atomic Samurai considers an impressive feat, as well as Tango, or like, tag team with Atomic Samurai against Vomited Fear Ugly. And when Atomic Samurai does his Atomic Slash, Nichirin does his Special Slash at like the same speed or relative speed. Because they're shown side by side doing it at like the same time simultaneously. So if you think Nichirin is relative to like full power Atomic Samurai, then he is either top of mid cadre or low high cadre. But just to be conservative, I'm gonna place him bottom of mid cadre, but he could go higher as well, because Atomic Samurai has utmost respect for this guy, and they move relative when Atomic Samurai is doing his ultimate move on a person that he definitely wouldn't be holding back against. And then also, you see slash marks on Vomited Fear Ugly, and like the swords that Nichirin and Atomic Samurai used both just completely melt, which might imply that they actually sunk into Ugly's body, like fully. Which, if you think they actually cut through Ugly, who could clash equally with Darkshine, that might be something, but... personally, I'm not too fond of that line of scaling. I think it's more speculative. But if you wanted to go there, you could even get him like higher up in the high cadre tier, but for now he's mid cadre tier. Then... hold on, one little thing for my nose. Being sick kind of sucks. It's not bad, but it's like I'm just constantly like nose clogs up. Makes it harder to breathe. Then moving on. In the number 34 to 33, right? Yeah. Presumably. Hopefully I'm getting that right. Drive Knight, and I can cover these both together. I'll do them separately. Drive Knight. So he just decimates Neon, like real bad, like absolutely slaughtered Neon. Which, by the way, another thing, I saw people saying Neon blitzes Fubuki. Maybe, but like Neon's best speed showings are outspeeding the lower tier people. Whereas Fubuki straight up just like keeps up with, and maybe even outspeeds or like outperforms red-haired Garo against Rover in terms of speed by dodging the blasts and reacting in tandem with like Bang and Palm. Which, I don't like, I think Fubuki is like, what speed feats does Neon have to compete with Garo, who couldn't dodge those blasts, or didn't bother maybe, but like, I don't know, if he could have, maybe he would have, I don't know. So, yeah, I think that Fubuki should be more impressive overall. And like, if she puts up a shield, Neon is never breaking it. Like, I don't think he's ever breaking that. And like, with a tornado, she could catch him probably, because that tornado has like wide range and stuff. But yeah, back to Drive Knight, he just decimates Neon real bad, who is a cadre, one of the bottom cadres, but still. So, I believe he should be here. He's also capable of comboing with like super fatigue Genos after the Sairochi battle, which is still decently fine, like decently impressive of a feat. And yeah, he has a lot of versatility. He has like poison gas, he has the golden mode, he has the bishop, the bicycle, you know, like he has a lot of different movesets. I don't know, I think Nichiren could go above him. But for now I'm just gonna place Drive Knight here above Nichiren, being a little conservative on Nichiren. And yeah, like his scaling, just like way above Neon, should just place him here, but other than that, he doesn't really have that much. Until we see like the King mode or the Queen mode or something like that. And then up next is a similar kind of character, similar kind of hero, who uses mechanics and the technology to fight, is Child Emperor. I put him above Drive Knight because I think he fights a much, much more impressive dragon in the form of Phoenix Man. Because Phoenix Man actually does have pretty good scaling. Because like in base, he's already like middle management. Not a cadre, but like middle management above the demons. Which in a hierarchy based off power should mean he's like higher than these guys. Super Mouse, Showerhead, Unicorn, Bug God. And then he just cracks his beak trying to break a single one of Child Emperor's shields, which is already a crazy feat, especially as well for the shields. One of those protected Child Emperor from a spirit bomb from Homeless Emperor. I don't know how that works, because like one single one of those shields protected him from it. But then Phoenix Man resurrects and breaks 5 of them. And then just he just slams into Child Emperor through another shield, through like a metal one that he had, and sends him flying. Like, that is an enormous increase, and it also did better than one of Homeless Emperor's spirit bombs, somehow. I'm not sure how that happened, because like it seems Homeless Emperor should be way stronger, but like, that alone is like already really impressive. And then you have Brave Giant boxing with that resurrected Phoenix Man, and for the most part, sort of winning, at least early on, before it like starts running out of power and stuff. And then especially even if you want to go before the redraw, then he has the Millennium Emperor Nova, which is like a Kamehameha, which also severely damages Brilliant Eagle Phoenix Man, who could absorb power. So like he absorbs energy, and he couldn't absorb all of it, and it just got blasted. So, and that Phoenix Man is like a league above Resurrected Phoenix Man, so if you wanted to go with that, maybe Child Emperor could even like peek into the high cadre tier, maybe, but for now I'd say mid cadre is fine. I think he should be above Drive Knight for me personally, because I think he does fight a more impressive character than Neon. So these would be the only guys in the mid cadre tier. Now moving on to 32, right? It's 32, I believe. It is kind of a cheat character, I'm not gonna lie. Brilliant Eagle Phoenix Man. I do want to include him instead of the redrawn one, because I think he is way cooler. If it was just Phoenix Man before the redraw, or post-redraw, sorry, after the redraw, he would be like top of mid-cadre. But this one, Brilliant Eagle, just tears Brave Giant to shreds. Like, he massacres Child Emperor. And then he also has that insane resurrection ability. If there are bodies on the battlefield, he can just flood you with zombies. And then, if those zombies somehow happen to be Hellfire and Gale, then it's even crazier. If you give him that advantage of, like, the battlefield that he had, but more realistically, that wouldn't come into effect, but I don't know, Brilliant Eagle Phoenix Man is just super impressive and for just tearing Brave Giant to shreds. Like, he definitely goes a whole tier above Child Emperor at that point. But other than that, he kind of doesn't have any more scaling. So, like, again, unless you think that a single one of Child Emperor's shield scales above a Supernova from Homeless Emperor, then you could get him up really high, but for now, I'd say he's like bottom of high cadre at 32. Then 31 is gonna be another cadre. And this one is very famous, and early on in the One Punch Man community, lots of people had this one as their top dog. But his stock has fallen a bit, I would imagine, after all the recent showings. It is Black S. He's just insane in terms of his numbers. Like, the individual Black SLs get slaughtered by Spring Mustachio. But when there's more of them, a lot more, it's like the ultimate jumping. They jumped the heck out of Atomic Samurai, which is a poor matchup, I get it, but they still jumped the heck out of one of the stronger S-Class heroes, and they're capable of holding off the entire S-Class, and like, they overwhelm Fatigue Genos, they overwhelm 0.00005% power Tatsumaki, they overwhelm like everybody who isn't the swordsman who just got there. They're completely fresh, so they're like full stamina, so they're not being overwhelmed just yet, but like, if the battle went on, they definitely would have eventually fallen. And also, they not overwhelm, but like they pressure base Bang pretty well. Like, Bang still slaughters them, but it's not like, they still pressure him, they still bother him a lot, right? And their limit is obviously Darkshine. Like, they themselves admit that they cannot do anything at all to Darkshine. But it's still, like, it's a one-man army. Like, put Black S against everybody else on the list so far, they're all eventually gonna just tire out and die, right? Like, every single one of them eventually just tires out and dies. Like, 55 trillion is an absolutely ridiculous number. Like, it's insane. It's like the population of the Earth, as we know it now, times thousands. Like, it's so insane. And like, nobody else is beating him. Like, that's the main thing. Like, he's a poor matchup for everybody. Like, no one's beating him. Like, individually, they're garbage. They're stated to be like above A-class heroes, but like then Spring Mustachio comes along and just bodies many of them. But as a unit, like, dude, it's absolutely ridiculous. Like, they just, I love Black S. If you removed the S and replaced it with the actual word, that sounds super bad. I love Black Sperm. Yeah, pretty bad. It sounds really bad out of context. Now, next up, at number, what is it, 31 now? 35, 34, 33, 32, 31, 30 now. The top 30. Still in the same tier. It's going to be... Where is this guy? There we go. Carnage Kabuto. Now, he could go below Black S, because there's no way he's killing all the Black S before tiring out after the week is up. But in terms of sheer scaling, he is so much higher, because like, he blatantly just forces Darkshine to fight him for 15 minutes, which I will get into that whole interaction in a bit, but that alone, when Darkshine was completely just like blatantly stated by Black S himself, they cannot do anything to Darkshine, I think it should place Carnage Kabuto above. And like, if the battle starts and Black S only has a few bodies on the scene, Carnage just blitzes and like one-shots all of them before they can even like multiply themselves. Maybe. Like, you could argue that's a win condition. But yeah, Carnage Kabuto, obviously his most impressive showing is fighting Darkshine. And now Darkshine is sort of disappointed later after the fight that there isn't any stronger monsters than Carnage Kabuto. So he's probably not like completely pushing Darkshine to his limits, but he does tango with Darkshine for 15 minutes, and it takes Darkshine 15 minutes to kill this thing, which is a very impressive feat when we get to Darkshine, of course. I will say, I have seen some people argue that since Genos doesn't know the full capabilities of Carnage Kabuto, like he has only seen him fight Saitama of all people, some people have said that Carnage Kabuto could be above Darkshine. But the thing is, like, the only scaling he has is to Darkshine. Like, his best scaling, the only reason we can even get him this high, is because he scales to Darkshine, right? Like, we cannot scale him any higher because he has nothing better to show us. And if he didn't have this showing, he would go, like, in the honorable mentions. So I will say, like, the Darkshine fight doesn't cap Carnage Kabuto, it boosts him. It boosts him a lot. Like, I don't think that if the fight didn't happen, he would be, like, way lower. I will say, even in base, he's stated to be physically in a completely different league to Marugori and Vaccine Man, which is also good, but then in base he also, like, struggles to kill Metal Bat for 3 minutes in base without pumps, so base Carnage Kabuto is kinda not that good, but then Carnage mode, just keeping up with Darkshine for 15 minutes, like, yeah, he's high cadre material for sure. I'm gonna just look at the chat a little bit. Alright, so moving on. If this guy is here at number 30, then number 29, I imagine you can already guess, is the man himself, the myth, the legend. Where is full power Darkshine here? What? I see Darkshine suppressed. I don't see full power. Hold on. Where is Darkshine on this list? I am blind. I am blind again. Where is he? Dude, I don't see Darkshine. This is so embarrassing. Okay, Darkshine, the man, the myth, the legend, the durability king. Pops Deep Sea King and above level monsters with a light touch, stated by Murata. Pops Bug God with a jab. Where is this image? You can't find it. I cannot find this image. He also just blatantly scales above, like, the suppressed Orochi that fought Goro, via Murata saying that Darkshine is super impressive in comparison to that suppressed Orochi, as well as just showings of, like, completely just bodying, absolutely demolishing Goro, who at that point had fought Orochi and, like, was deflecting his horn attacks, the same horn attacks that could make Child Emperor, like, shiver and, like, just completely make him drop the idea of fighting Orochi entirely. Like, Child Emperor wanted to fight Orochi with Brave Giant, saw what Orochi did with his horn attack to Metal Knight, and then just went, nope, I'm not fighting that thing. I'm just not. And Darkshine just absolutely bypasses the water stream and then one-shots Garo and, like, destroys his entire ribcage. Like, it's a super impressive feat. And in general, he's just, like, comedically powerful. Like, he just runs past monsters and kills them. I'm just gonna use this image because I can't. I was looking at the wrong template again. I am so dumb. I have two templates open, one for the complete tier list and one for this one. I am sorry. I did not have that much time to set this up. There's full power Darkshine. I am so sorry. I was scrolling through another template. But anyway, Darkshine's self-explanatory. Like, I don't think I need to go on for that much longer. He's just stated by Black S himself, he can do absolutely nothing. Brave Giant, self-admitted inferiority to Darkshine by, like, a whole one-shot tier and above. Like, Drive Knight's not doing anything. Nichiren, again, if you think he, like, slashed through Ugly, maybe you could argue him above Darkshine, but I don't really think so. Darkshine himself says nobody can beat Garo after he loses, which should include everything he's seen from every other hero. And he's sparred with Base Bang. He's seen Bang, Metal Bat, Atomic Samurai, and Puri against Melzergard. He's seen Tatsumaki against the spaceship. he thinks nobody can beat that Garo that beat him, and Garo doesn't even damage him that much, like he causes him a nosebleed after an attack that debatably might attack his internal organs, because it does seem kind of similar to Fa Jin. Like maybe it's an early version of that, so if you think he used like an early version of Fa Jin, then Darkshine straight up just took no external damage whatsoever, because it would be all internal. And yeah, Darkshine is just an absolute beast. Like, he gets clowned on by like some of the higher tier characters that we're gonna get to, but he's still just he's a monster. Like, he is beating everybody in the mid Cadre tier and below with a light tap or with a suppressed tackle, because like the tackle against Garo was suppressed. It wasn't even full power. He was like later he used his full power, and even after Garo goes spiral, Darkshine still tags him with a double bazooka and still damages him. Like, you can see the spirals on his shoulders, like he needed to regenerate that. So yeah, it's just absolutely insane. And Garo was using the combination of the Water Stream and the Whirlwind Fist on Darkshine. He was using the Roaring Aura Skyripping Fist, basically, and it wasn't doing, like, any external damage. So, yeah, Darkshine, full mentality, full, like, mental stability, could have put up a much better fight, for sure. Then moving on, higher still in this same tier, we have Mr. President Ugly himself, Mr. Führer Ugly, depending on what translation you go with. If I can find him on the template. He should be lower. Right, there we go. Vomited Führer Ugly. So, what he does is he clashes equally with Darkshine. His fists don't, like, splatter into bits after a full power double bazooka from Darkshine, and he melts Darkshine. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. Like, he just blatantly beat Darkshine. Like, you can see Darkshine's bones on his knuckles exposed. So, yeah, it's one of the most brutal panels in all of One Punch Man. Like, you can literally see his bones on the hands. Oh, like, it was bad. Like, it was bad. And also in terms of speed, Darkshine is like behind Vomited Ugly and like shoots a full power double bazooka, and Vomited Ugly turns around and shoots a double fist back. So in terms of speed, he's also relative. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Vomited Führer Ugly is just above Darkshine. Unfortunately, this is where Darkshine caps off, sadly. But it is what it is. Maybe he'll get his get back later. I hope he does. I really hope he does get his get back. Now, up next... Actually, let me check. This guy could maybe go into a higher tier. But... do I want to place Homeless Emperor in Peak Cadre or High Cadre? Because I don't think he's keeping up with a lot of the people in Peak Cadre that are coming up, but he bodied Ugly, like, he destroyed him real bad. I'll keep him High Cadre, top of High Cadre. A Homeless Emperor, pretty self-explanatory, just absolutely dismantled Ugly. Like, just bombed him into oblivion. He didn't really do that much visible damage, but like Ugly was like crawling away like a worm afterwards. He's like, I'll get you next time, like a cartoon villain. And then like, I don't know, it's pretty self-explanatory. Homeless Emperor just above the guy who beat Darkshine, and just like bombs him into oblivion. And also, his general range and quantity of attacks is absolutely insane. He could pressure Fatigue Tatsumaki, he absolutely dismantled Zombie Man. He just has these feats. Against the two swordsmen, Yayan and Spring Mustachio, they do block his hits, but he self-admittedly is trying to find the right power for a satisfying kill. Like, he's holding back pretty obviously. Which also might explain the whole, like, Spirit Bomb against Child Emperor, because maybe he just, like, he made a big bomb, but, like, not powerful, you know, like, It's like a wide AoE attack, but without much power behind it. Because, like, scaling-wise, the bombs that he threw against Ugly are way stronger than the Spirit Bomb that he threw against Child Emperor. So, yeah, Homeless Emperor, pretty self-explanatory here. The problem is his durability. Like, anybody who's fast enough to, like, get close to him before he can react just kills him. So, like, Bang, Bomb, like, lots of other characters just kind of blitz and kill him right off the bat. But if he gets going, like if there's enough starting distance, and he just starts like spiraling bombs all around himself and like bombing the entire battlefield with nukes, then he might actually be able to go into Peak Cadre under those conditions. But for now, I'll say he's like near the top of High Cadre. There's still one other character that we have to get to High Cadre, which is Mr. Swordsman Extraordinaire himself, Atomic Samurai with the Sunblade. He is the top of this tier. Also pretty self-explanatory, just like absolutely dismantled Homeless Emperor's big giant spirit bomb and was just rushing at him with full intent to cut him down. And he would have if it wasn't for Golden S, which by the way, Golden S would also be here. I can include him later after the top 50 is done. So Golden S, if he didn't save Homeless Emperor, Atomic would have just killed him. Like that. That's pretty blatant. That's as blatant as it gets. I will say Homeless Emperor wasn't like super smart about it. Like he didn't have his bombs like going all around the battlefield, because he was being pretty cocky. Like he was concentrating his firepower into one giant blast instead of like swirling blasts all around him. So under different conditions, maybe Atomic Samurai wouldn't have been able to get to him. But under these conditions, he just absolutely bodied him. So, like, in character, we already saw this fight happen. Atomic Samurai should be the top of this tier. So now we have 35, 34, 33, 32, 31, 30, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26 now. So he is the 26th. So now we're going to get into the Big 25, the big leagues. And let me just real quick grab some more water. Let me see what chat is up to real quick. Holding back for a prettier glory kill is foul work. Yep. I think it can be the Gogetsu. Maybe good. Facts, he's genuinely a sadist. Atomic Samurai needed to pull out one of the EOS plays to threaten the duo. Golden S and Homeless Emperor, the definition of Peak Cadre? See, I don't think so exactly. Yo, Mr. Perfect Cell, hello. I think not all the versions of the characters are included to not include the list. Yeah, exactly. I'll include them later. I'm glad you can recognize Melzagard for the bum he is. He is. He really is. Like, Puri Puri and Base Metal Bat just box him up real bad. Melzagard's a bum. A bum. Yeah, the chat going wild. Perfect Cell in chat. The biggest Melzagard hater to ever live. We get it, you hate Melzagard. Now, I wish he was better. Like, I think he's so cool. Like, honestly, if it were up to me, he'd be like High Cadre tier. Like, honestly. If it were up to me to, like, decide how I would want to rank the series, Melzagard could be, like, top of High Cadre or, like, rivaling Darkshine or whatever. Because I think he's super cool, but, like, Puri Puri just blows him to shreds. like, come on. Right, now getting into the top 25. This one's also going to be a little bit controversial. The Heavenly Ninja Party to start off the Peak Cadre tier. Now these guys, I'm not including them all as like a team, because then they would go higher, but like individually, the Heavenly Ninja Party. What do these guys bring to the table? I can do both of these at the same time. Ninja Bros as well, Post-Monster Association arc, Hellfire and Gale. So these guys, Hellfire and Gale, They come back after the Monster Association arc, look at Flashy Flash, and say, yeah, we can beat you now. Like, we've trained up. In our human forms, we're now stronger than we were in our monster forms, and we're gonna kill you. And then they get bodied, and they say, oh lord, Flash has gotten stronger too. Like, oh man, oh shoot, like, that was bad. So, you know, like, obviously Flash got a massive power increase, like, they blatantly say that. But those two, they come in and they think they can beat Flash, who previously chopped them in half. And now, there was an argument in some comment sections that I saw that they don't actually remember what happened in the fight with Flash, because when they wake up in the Child Emperor versus Phoenix Man battle, they're like, what happened? We fought Flash and then what is this? What he escaped, right? Like, they both think he escaped, especially Hellfire Flame. He blatantly says, yeah, but he got away. So they think Flash just ran away from them. But then later, okay, first of all, there's a giant scar across their chests. Like, they would notice that at some point, you would imagine. But then also, at the same time, later on, when they meet Flashy Flash again, Flash verbatim says, didn't I bisect you? And then Hellfire, in his mind, we are shown he is thinking of himself and Galewind chopped in half in the exact same manner that Flashy Flash actually did them. And he says, nah, we would have multiplied if that was the case. Like, there's like the whole weird starfish thing going on. But like, the important thing is, he thinks in his mind about the encounter. He doesn't ask Flash, like, what do you mean? Like, you didn't bisect us, you ran away. No, he says, no, you did bisect us, but if your theory about this starfish thing was correct, we would have multiplied or something. Like, but he imagined in his own mind, himself and Hellfire Flame, and Galewind, chopped in half in the exact same manner that Flash did them. So, like, they clearly remember. Like, at some point afterwards, they remembered. And, yeah, they think they can beat Monster Association Flashy Flash now, as a duo. And then these guys, the Heavenly Ninja Party, are hyped up by Sonic to be super strong, which Sonic can clash with current Flashy Flash. And then at the same time, they just straight up bully Hellfire and Gale multiple times. However, I will say this, every time they bully these two is from behind, as a surprise attack from behind. And there's like 20 of them and only 2 of them, so like, even if individually they were stronger than the Heaven and the Ninja Party members, they couldn't resist. Like they're all still relative to each other, and they just blatantly outnumber these guys like 10-1. So obviously the Ninja Bros would be obedient to the Heaven and the Ninja Party. And now, I will say, the Heaven and Ninja Party members themselves view these two as jokes. But during the big fight with Flashy Flash and Sonic, Hellfire and Galewind are the only ones to actually draw blood from Flashy Flash. So like, just because of how cool they were in the original battle, and how sad I am that they're getting done super dirty currently, I do want to say that that feat of them drawing blood is enough to put them above an average Heavenly Ninja Party member. But at the same time, it's like, you could definitely make the argument that the Heavenly Ninja Party members are above the Hellfire and Galewind duo. But on my personal list, one-on-one, I would take either one of these two over anyone in the Heaven and Ninja Party. And then also, you can also... it's really weird in terms of scaling implications, because like one of them is impressed by like the speed of sound. He's like, my whip can go at the speed of sound. Sonic boom, you've never seen this before. Meanwhile, like beginning of series Sonic is doing that, so like that's kind of a weird thing, but like the whole arc has been kind of weird in terms of scaling, kind of all over the place, so I don't really see that as an anti-feat of any sorts. And like, the fact that these guys all lose to current Flash and Sonic does not invalidate them scaling above the Sonic that bisected Hellfire and Galewind. And like, you could say maybe it's like ninja confidence, like the ninjas are always overconfident, but like, okay, you see Sonic, he comes back to fight Saitama. Every time he does, he gets massive power-ups. Like, every single time he comes back to fight Saitama, he's way stronger than before. So like the same could just apply here. Like they could have just gotten stronger, but Flash just got more stronger. And like even without this, even without the current Hellfire and Galewind scaling, they still pressured Flashy Flash into using a strategy to actually beat them. They still actually drew blood from Flashy Flash. They still tanked flashy kicks from Flashy Flash without much damage. They were stunned, but they were not damaged. And then he only bisected them with the Flashy Slash. And then he says he was waiting for the right moment to bisect both of them at the same time, because if he only got one, the other one had a good chance of getting away. That alone should tell you that, like, these guys have to have at least somewhat relative speed to Flash to actually be able to get away from him. Because, like, if he could blitz them, he would have straight up just blitzed one, blitzed the other, GG, goodbye, went on his merry way. But no, he actually had to go in with a strategy to stun them and then actually bisect them both. Like, he had to immobilize them for that to work. So that alone, Flashy Flash obviously scales super high, like we're gonna get to that later. But that alone just puts him above the high cadre tier in my opinion. Then, also in this tier, actually let me get some water first and see what chat is up to. All ninjas are weak to attacks from behind. That clown with a whip was peak comedy. Look at my speed of sound in One Punch Man world. Hey, class heroes could blitz your whip. Yep. You're looking too deep into it. It was just a warm-up fight. Not really. Like, Flash was bleeding. Like, Flash was bleeding, and like he specifically said if he didn't kill one of them, if he couldn't kill both of them at the same time, the other would have gotten away. Like, he straight up says that. So they have to have relative speed, and they actually do pressure him. Like, you can see it in his face. You can see he's bleeding. So I do think they scale. I do think they definitely, for sure, scale to Flashy Flash. And then moving on. Also in this tier, a little bit higher, we have a duo. Another pair of characters. Let me find them real quick. Bomb and Bang. I do think still they should be more impressive than these guys individually, because I do subscribe to the whole thing with Bang being relative to Flash in the Monster Association arc. And I do believe that one-on-one, like, the Ninja Bros, the Hellfire and Gale, only scale above Flash as a duo, in terms of, like, above Monster Association Flash. Meanwhile, one-on-one, we can't be certain. And then Bang, he's fighting Garo with the Awakening Breath and the Exploding Heart Release Fist, both of which amp his body to and beyond the limits. And he's the most skilled we've ever seen him. He's combining multiple martial arts into one subconsciously. Bomb straight up points out that, yeah, he's combining every martial arts he's ever encountered into one, which is like the definition of the Monster Calamity Godslayer Fist. It's just that Garo hasn't named it yet because he's not conscious enough to name it. You know, he's unconscious. But he is using two martial arts that draw out his very best, everything his body has to offer, and then he wakes up and goes on to fight Flash and suppress Platinum S. So, and Bomb does better than Flashy Flash did against Garo, which I think that Garo, from those fights, the beginning of the Platinum fight and the end of the Garo fight is relative to himself. Like, he's still comparable to himself. And also in the battle with Flashy Flash, he's actually not using the Roaring Aura Skyripping Fist, which is what allows him to one-shot Bang. Without it, he could not one-shot Bang. Bang was equally trading blows with him before this, and it was only the Roaring Aura Skyripping Fist that actually one-shot Bang. So we have a character not using his strongest martial art, because he's using a weaker, incomplete combination martial art, because against Sage Centipede later, instead of just defaulting to the Monster Calamity Godslayer Fist all the way, he actually does fall back on the Roaring Aura Skyripping Fist multiple times, or at least one time, which should imply that that fist alone, as of that moment in time, is actually stronger than the super incomplete and rough Monster Calamity Godslayer fist, obviously before the fist gets perfected. But just that alone, I do think Bang at full power should scale above Monster Association Flashy Flash, personally. I can see arguments otherwise, but I do think he should. And by extension, I think he should scale above any of these ninjas individually still. And then Bomb, he was super weakened against Garo when they fought. Because you can see, like, he straight up just gave all his power, like, not all of it, but a lot of his power to heal Tanked Up Master. And you can see he visually got older. He's sweating, he's like more wrinkly, his bones are more exposed, or like his cheeks and stuff. So he is visually just much more exhausted. And when you consider how actually injured Tanked Up Master was, and that Fubuki herself was super exhausted, so like, she did not give like any energy to heal Tanked Up Master at that point, because she already had spent it all on Genos. But it was basically like Bomb's supply alone that healed Tanked Up Master, so that's an insane nerf right there, because like, you saw Tanked Up Master, right? Like how many broken bones he had, how much he was bleeding, so yeah, Bomb was just insanely nerfed against Garo, and at full power, Murata has actually stated he's stronger than Bang, so like, it's debatable. I'll just place them like interchangeably at P Cadre. Then moving on, above these guys, another duo as well. Hold on, what are we up to now? This was 30, then 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22 now. So 21 and 20 are gonna be Sonic from the Flashy Flash fight and Flashy Flash from the Sonic fight. The same fight, basically. So again, the same scaling chain sort of applies from the ninjas beforehand. Like, they just straight up blitz and one-shot all these guys. The same guys that were confident that they could fight Monster Association Flashy Flash on even footing. So I think it just should go be without saying that, like, if that is the case, these two ninjas right now should be above the martial artist. Unless Bang and Bomb get some, like, insane scaling of their own later down the line, and we see they got stronger. But for now, Sonic and Flashy Flash just should scale above. Now, whether they could scale to Platinum S, I'm not too sure. Because Platinum S did show some signs of struggling against Flash in their battle. Like, he did say Flash is without his sword and that impacts things. He did blatantly clash with Sonic and had, like, veins on his forehead. He did get tagged multiple times by that whole, like, barrage that Flashy Flash did, like that last Hail Mary. But at the same time, Flash actually dealt no damage whatsoever. Like, the only mark we see is actually from Garo earlier, when he punched Platinum S after that whole barrage. And, like, straight up, Platinum rings him, grabs his hand, does a combo, kicks him to the ground while laughing, and then just not kills him, but knocks him out cold. So, and then it's shown that, like, he, like, speeds up so much with Garo together. Like, it's blatantly stated that they're both speeding up, like, a ton. Like, their constellation is much larger and denser than the one from before with Flashy Flash. And it's blatantly stated that Garo's, like, neurons are, like, infinitely increasing in speed and whatnot. And obviously that doesn't mean he's got infinite speed, but, like, they're increasing, like, his speed is increasing, and Platinum S is matching it for a while. So I do think that they sort of cap off here, like, above Bang and Bomb, but, like, not Platinum S level yet, I would imagine. And then moving on to the reason that this tier is called the P Cadre tier. We have Elder Centipede after malting, we have Overgrown Rover, and we have Goketsu. Now these guys, all of them are just pretty much implied to be the top tier cadres. Like, they're the tippity top of the Monster Association aside from Psychos and Orochi. Goketsu specifically, Guro looks at his corpse and she's like, what the hell? Like, who could do this to this guy? Like, she was convinced that the Hero Association had to have like some sort of secret ace above the S-Class up their sleeve just from the sheer fact that they killed Goketsu. And she knows about Bang and Flash, not their full capabilities, but she's like aware of them at least. And of course she's aware of Tatsumaki as well, the suppressed one. So for her to say this is pretty impressive, especially when she had expected either Blast or Tatsumaki or Metal Knight or King to be able to possibly take down Elder Centipede. Or like oppose him, depending on what translation you go with. And then she thinks Goketsu, nah, like this thing couldn't, like this has to be some sort of secret ace up their sleeve, like this is insane, like he died, like what the heck, you know, like. And then Genos, obviously we have that statement of like, oh god, like this thing is above anything I've seen, his strength rivals Saitama, which obviously isn't the case, but he has seen full power Darkshine in the simulation, or at least near full power Darkshine, and he thinks that they need multiple S-Class to beat him. Guro also implies that like multiple S-Class working together are what's needed to give Goketsu a rough time. And Goketsu himself then says don't be so sure, like he himself is confident he could face multiple S-Class. And yeah, his whole scaling is just pretty ridiculous. So he should be above like most of the other guys, like he's definitely above all the other cadres so far. Overgrown Rover is then also another one that like straight up just takes combos from Bang & Bomb with like little to no damage. And Bang & Bomb, depending on the translation, they're either confident that they can get past Rover if they try hard enough, or they're just blatantly saying like, nah, we're not doing it. Like, it depends on the translation, but either way, Rover did tank a full combination attack from Bang & Bomb, the Crossfang Dragon Slayer Fist, and just got up, which nobody else here is doing that. Like, Bang, the same one who can trade punches with like Awakening Breath, Heart Release Fist Garo, and Bomb, like those two comboing, granted they didn't use Awakening Breath, so like it's base Bang, but it's still impressive. Those two comboing did nothing to Rover, who was already sort of injured earlier as well from Saitama, which is also another thing. He tanked a non-killing punch from Saitama. Well, didn't tank, he was knocked out, but like he survived it. But that punch wasn't with killing intent. Saitama just wanted to discipline him. So you can argue about it, but I think it's still impressive. The only thing he lacks is AP, because like Bang & Bomb just catches attacks with their bare hands, Fubuki blocks them, Garo tanks them with heat resistance. But in terms of durability, nobody's damaging him. Like, nobody here. None of the ninjas, none of the martial artists. Maybe the Sunblade, but like, we don't know the upper limits of that. But yeah, Rover is just a tank. And then Elder Centipede, I've already talked about him to death. Like, okay, in terms of sheer like power scaling, he would go below these two, Goketsu and Rover. But he's just such a terrible matchup for everybody in the verse, except for like the tippity top and like the ones with insane AoE. Because like, first of all, yeah, he gets shattered by Bang & Bomb, but he just regenerates. He gets his insides blasted out by Genos, including his brain. We see the laser exiting through his eyes and face. And he still regenerates, so he doesn't need a brain to even regenerate? So, like, the sheer vitality of this thing... Okay, Goketsu is way stronger. He, like, punches his head off. Regenerates. He doesn't need a brain to regenerate. Overgrown Rover probably can't damage him because of the lacking AP feats. Bang & Bomb already admitted that they had no chance of actually killing Elder Centipede. Bomb straight up says, Bang, we cannot beat him. Run. Like, that's what he says. And Bang, with the Awakening Breath, and maybe even the Exploding Heart Release Fist, as I've talked about in a previous video, where he's like he's basically going to like spend his life force and cripple himself against Elder Centipede. And we know using the Awakening Breath didn't cripple him, like he was still capable of standing up. But like, if, hypothetically, he was talking about the Exploding Arch Release Fist on top of the Awakening Breath, then it would make sense that he was saying like, I'll go all out and give up all my life force for this one thing to protect the city and the heroes who are knocked out from Elder Centipede. Like, it does make sense that in a situation this dire, he might use something like that. And again, using just the Awakening Breath does not cripple him. It does not drain away his life force. But against Elder Centipede, he was fully intent on draining his life force away. So, like, that's just speculation. But, like, even without that, just the Awakening Breath bang, who fought Garo, straight up incapable of killing Elder Centipede. So, like, that alone just should put him above all the ninjas, except current Sonic and Flash, but, like, those two are super fast. They could probably put some dents in Elder Centipede, but he's just too big. They're never dealing any lethal damage. He does not have a regeneration core like Sage Centipede. Genos blasted out his insides, and he just regenerated anyway. Like, he's just such an insane damage sponge, and such an insane, like, vitality. Like, nobody is killing him. Like, no matter what, nobody kills him. Like, maybe with the exception of Homeless Emperor. Maybe. Depending on the AP of this blast. But, like, nobody kills him. Like, he's just a terrible matchup for everybody. It's just bad. Like, he just outlasts everybody. So, anyways, moving on. I've already rambled enough about Elder Centipede. Next up... Hold on, let me get some water real quick. Oh, we have 77 people watching. That's actually kind of insane for my channel. Let's go. You know shit's bad when Bang and Bomb straight up dip. Exactly. Exactly. Like, they straight up just run until they cannot run any longer. Goketsu should have started in the show longer. Yeah. Bang is not relative to Flash. You can make arguments about it. He seemed ulted only because he was gonna do it anyways. He doesn't have instant regen. This makes no sense. He does. Like, he blatantly got blasted out by Genos. And then he is shown on screen regenerating. So, like, I don't know what to say. Alright, so moving on. Now, what are we up to now? So this is 25, then 24, 23, 22, 21, 29. So we are in the top 20 with Flashy Flash. Flash is 20, by the way. Then number 19, Goketsu. Number 18, Rover. And number... Why am I tripping? 2019, 18, 17 is Elder Centipede. Well, I tripped there for some reason. Anyways, also, post-malting Elder Centipede is actually stated to be evolved and possibly stronger than pre-malting Elder Centipede, the one that actually got beat by Bang and Bomb. Well, not beat, but like had his shell shattered. Because straight up, Murata just calls him evolved Elder Centipede. So like, it's implied that he might have actually gotten stronger. At the very least, he got bigger. And he had more eyes. So yeah, it's even more insane. It's even more cracked. But now, moving on to number 16 on the list, still in the same tier. We have... Hold on, where is this guy? Metal Knight, with his full arsenal. He is one of the 4 heroes stated to be able to oppose Elder Centipede by Guroguro, so that is one thing. Another thing is Child Emperor thinks he alone has, like, firepower above any lone hero, which should include, the drill from Tatsumaki that he saw, which is insane, but he hasn't seen full power Tatsumaki. He only saw the drill, and he thinks actually that Metal Knight can pull off something more impressive than the drill. And he can pull off something more impressive than Darkshine and all the people that Child Emperor has seen fight. Well, actually, he hasn't seen Darkshine fight much, but still. And just in general narrative, Metal Knight should be somewhere around here just via being able to oppose Elder Centipede and having lone firepower above anybody that Child Emperor could see among the heroes. And also, Child Emperor, again, he brought Brave Giant to fight Orochi, saw one single Metal Knight drone dismantled by Orochi, and was like, nah, I'm good. So, he alone, one Metal Knight drone dismantled was enough for Child Emperor to think Brave Giant wouldn't be enough. So, like, that's already another crazy thing to imagine. And yeah, not much else to say. Peak Metal Knight, Full Arsenal can be somewhere here. I don't think he's above Dragon. I don't think he has shown that kind of scaling yet, but it's something. It's good. It's good scaling. Oh, hold on 1 second. And for anyone who just tuned in, I am kind of sick, so I will mute occasionally to like cough or blow my nose or stuff like that. Now, moving up, still in the same tier, but really you could make an entirely separate tier for these two characters that I'm about to get to. But we have... Where is she? There we go. Full power Psychos amped by the elixir that she drank. Full transparency, she's a tier above Elder Centipede, Overgrown Rover, and Goketsu. 100%. But I'm just gonna place her here not to make too many tiers. I could maybe say like above Cadre, but I'll just place her here for now. So, Gyoro thinks she can fight Tatsumaki, who she thinks can defeat Elder Centipede. And then Tatsumaki absolutely dismantles Gyoro, surpasses her expectations entirely. And then Psychos, what she says is, okay, Overgrown Rover could be a distraction for Tatsumaki, but he's not doing anything. Like, she just tries to call him to distract Tatsumaki for a moment, to basically stop Tatsumaki from attacking her from like such a large distance and stuff. So, Psychos thinks Overgrown Rover and Elder Centipede are below Tatsumaki. And then she drinks the elixir, she powers up to her full maximum output, and then she says she's in a completely different league to Gyoro, and then goes on to fight that Tatsumaki and do better than Gyoro did against a more, like, serious Tatsumaki. Obviously, Tatsumaki's still using, like, 0.005% of her power, but the very fact that she could pressure, like, at all Tatsumaki, like, she didn't pressure Tatsumaki, but she, like, sort of kept up with her a little bit after she had already powered up enough to dismantle Gyoro, who should be stronger than Elder Centipede and Rover. So Psychos is a beast. And then as well, she might be able to Blitz Flash if you think that one panel, where like she flies past Flash, and he didn't see what flew past him. So you could argue he's just surprised and he just wasn't expecting something like that, and just, you know, just didn't really, he wasn't ready, basically caught off guard. But like, he's a ninja in enemy territory. I'm sorry, I'm slipping, my throat is drying up, but he's a ninja in enemy territory, and he's like off guard. Like, I don't know, maybe Psychos actually does scale to like Flashy Flash in terms of speed. I don't know, but in all seriousness, also Fubuki straight up senses how much power Tatsumaki is outputting against Psychos, and she shivers. Like, she basically like almost breaks down into a panic attack just because of how much power Tatsumaki is outputting. And she's like, her opponent must be insanely powerful if she's putting out this much power, like, holy crap. So, like, and that was against Gyoro, I'm pretty sure, not even Psychos. So, like, the same Fubuki who would later go on to fight Rover with, like, a couple chapters later, and she did freak out, but not as much. Like, she wasn't actually, like, shaking and, like, holding herself with, like, you know, like, she was grabbing at her arms and, like, actually shaking from just feeling how much power Tatsumaki was using against Psychos. And Psychos actually stalemated her a little bit before getting bodied then. And, yeah, that's basically Psychos. She should be a whole tier above the three big cadres. But for now, I'll still place her at Picadre just to not bloat the tier list out too much. And then finally, last up in the tier is gonna be Platinum S at full power. I do believe that he scales enough above Flashy Flash, because, like, yeah, he did struggle initially, but then he straight up just, like, powers up and keeps up with a Garo who is just stated to be getting insanely faster. They make a much denser constellation together when there's just two of them instead of all three of them. And I have seen some people argue that Flash was relative. It's just that the constellation became larger and denser just because now there were only two people to focus on. They didn't need to focus on their blind spots as much, and they could throw caution to the wind and stuff. But, like, it's blatantly stated Garo is getting faster and faster. Like, it's not just them being able to focus on each other. It's straight up just them getting that much faster. And I do believe Platinum S should be able to blitz most of the people below him. I do want to make a video on current Flash and Sonic together versus Platinum S. I do think that is a very interesting topic right now, because that depends entirely on how big you think the gap between Platinum S is compared to Flashy Flash in the Monster Association arc. But I will say I do believe he is this high. And also, we straight up had, like, Golden S looking at King and saying, yeah, King one-shot Elder Centipede, we have to be super careful. And then the moment Platinum S appears, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna punch your head off right now. Like, go ahead, use your full power. You know, like, it's like, he just gets such a massive boost that he now thinks he can one-punch the guy who one-punched Elder Centipede. And then also, there are rumors that King, like, punched the moon, and he's the one that made the crater. And if Golden S has heard those rumors, then Platinum S should scale above that, because he thinks he could do that. And then, what else do we have? Obviously, the insane speed. Atomic Samurai fights Golden S, and he, like, the situation is bad, yes, but then the moment Platinum appears, he's like, oh my god, this aura is so immense, like, what? Like, he just blatantly is way more impressed by suppressed Platinum S than by Golden S. And again, like, Platinum himself, Golden S, super cautious against King. Platinum, I will one-shot you. Like, that's the difference here, right? So again, I do think Platinum S could go a tier above, but I'll just put him here, I believe. So this was, what, Flashy 20, then 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. So this was number 14 and 15, Psychos and Platinum S at full power. Now, moving on to Above Dragon, the biggest leagues now. This, I will go a little bit faster through these now, because I have already spoken about most of them. But number 13 is Metal Bat against Sage Centipede after the whole resonance buff and everything. So, as much as I hate the Sage Centipede fight, and trust me, I hate the Sage Centipede fight, the second diss track is already in production. But I'm not joking about that, by the way. There's a second diss track coming because I hate Sage Centipede that much. But anyways, Sage Centipede is the guy who takes a flurry of punches from Garo to the face, which is the weakest part of his body if he is anything like Elder Centipede. And he does get his outer shell busted, but he quickly regenerates, and there's, like, no lasting impact whatsoever. That same Garo blitzed and two-shot Platinum S into oblivion. Like, he punched him once into the ground, cracked his entire body with that, and then he just ran past him and shattered him into dust. Like, that's the power difference we're talking. And that Garo does similar or less damage to Sage than Peak Metal Bat did, because Peak Metal Bat actually cracks the shell with one swing, and like it goes through like a decently large chunk of Sage's body, and it is to the shell, like to one of his lower sections, not the face. So like Metal Bat at his peak should at least scale above the Garo that killed Platinum S in 2 hits in terms of AP. And then we also have him like chopping off Sage Centipede's mandibles, which were holding the helicopter. And we also have him like fully reacting to and just comboing with Garo, which is insane because Garo has no reason to hold back here at all. Like, he's not making constellations anymore, but he has no reason to hold back in speed because he's trying to save Tario. And Metal Bat just runs alongside him and combos with him verbatim. Like, they're shown side by side, panel by panel, to be moving at relative speeds while doing their, like, combination attacks. Like, the Roaring Aura Skyripping Fist and the Dragon Pummeling, or whatever it's called. They're shown side by side moving relative. And they kick at Sage at the same time when he tries to intervene their, like, banter. They just do everything relative. And, like, obviously it's stated Garo is stronger, which he is. He does get much stronger than a Metal Bat. Like, Metal Bat only comes to Garo's level in terms of AP at the very end of the fight. But the fact that he does reach it, and the fact that he keeps up with that Garo, clear above Dragon in my eyes. Like, I don't think anybody below him is really doing anything to him at this point. It's just such an insane plot amp that came out of nowhere and I hate it, but it happened, so... Yeah, power scaling is not about making sense of things, it's about power scaling. So, yeah, it's about stating who is as strong as who, and yeah, via feats, Metal Bat kinda should be here. Now this next section, oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, so narratively, I get why Sage should be above Orochi. I really do get it. But in terms of feats, he's a bum. He's fodder. Well, not fodder. Okay, not fodder, but like... couldn't outspeed a helicopter if it had a full, healthy, working engine. Got blitzed by Garo at every opportunity possible. Like, Garo's all the way down there on the ground, jumps at Sage and bullies him from an enormous distance and outspeeds him at every possible turn. Like, even the final chop that he does, you can argue, like, yeah, Garo did get there slower to the regeneration core than Sage Centipede, but, like, at the same time, he did need to chop Sage in half, and he would presumably need a platform to jump off of to chop at Sage, right? Like, maybe he just planned to have the heart above Sage when Sage got there, and he wanted him to extend himself, and he waited for Sage to extend himself to chop him in half. I don't know. Like, that one's, like, the only speed feed that's good. But, like, he gets blitzed at every other possible turn. He gets blitzed 13 times by one-shotter, by, like, this honorable mention down here. Like, 13 times before he can complete a bloodlusted swing of his mandibles. Like, I don't know, like, he's obviously super durable, super strong, like, obviously he is a top dog. But, like, he's so trash. Like, I don't know, like, I don't know, dude. Like, Sage Centipede is so bad. Like, narratively, I get the reasons why he should be above Orochi, but feats-wise, he's just so terrible. Like, it hurts. It hurts. It really does. It really does. Like, but I don't really know what to say. I don't know, like, I get it. I get Orochi should be below Sage Centipede, but like, come on. Like, I cannot accept it. Again, diss track version 2 coming soon. And it's way more savage than the first. The first was for the memes, this one's for the coffin. Like, I'm actually trying to make something that's like bars. It's probably gonna be bad, but I'm trying now, alright? I found a good beat, I think it's gonna be pretty good. And now, above Sage, I put Evil Natural Ocean. Now, in terms of feats, Sage should be above. Like, he has way better calcs, way better, like, showings, because obviously Evil Natural Ocean died the chapter it showed up. Or, like, the chapter after it showed up. But still, it is pretty blatant that, like, in terms of vitality, unless you think Sage Centipede spinning with a drill would, like, blow him apart like the Serious Punch did, I don't think Sage is actually gonna be capable of putting water down. And, like, eventually, like, he's the ocean, he's just gonna keep absorbing and absorbing, and until eventually he actually does manage to, like, either drown or outlast Sage. Also, with the Grand Ocean Cannon, he is capable of damaging Garo. Now, that was a combination attack between Sage and Ocean, but it is still pretty impressive. Especially since later on in the fight, Sage, like, delivers a full flurry on Garo, and it stuns him, but we don't actually see any visible damage. That Garo could be stronger than the one at the start of the fight, but it's still impressive nonetheless for Ocean Water to, like, damage Garo that badly. Like, he makes him bleed from several places in the shell. So, I would still put Ocean Water above. So, Metal Bat at 13, Sage at 12, Ocean Water at 11. Now, following up, still above Dragon, Orochi. My boy. One of the coolest characters in the series, just because of all the body morphing abilities and whatnot. I get it. Narratively, he should be below Sage and Ocean. Like, God does send them to fight Saitama after he already saw Saitama defeat Orochi, but, like, in terms of feats, they're both, Sage is buns, absolute garbage. Meanwhile, Orochi, what little he does have is a much, much better calc than Sage Centipede, and he keeps up with Red Garo pretty well, while super suppressed and holding back, and specifically instructed not to kill him and not to go too hard in his base masked form, which we know is, like, super suppressed below whatever's unmasked form would be. Because Psychos, specifically, thinks she can overpower Orochi's psyche, and, like, when they start fusing, and then she realizes how strong he is, and she's like, how did you get this strong? Where is this power? Like, he was hiding it, specifically stated by both Psychos and the narrator, that he was hiding his power from Psychos. Which, another crazy thing is, that Orochi was mush at that point. That's mush Orochi Psychos is referring to. So Orochi mush might unironically scale above the big three cadres. It was also straight up just causing Tatsumaki a little trouble. Like, she straight up was sweating a little bit against mush Orochi. Which is just because, like, she didn't really know where to target, because she couldn't go crazy, otherwise she risked killing other heroes and the kid that was still there, Lectario. Of course, like, that doesn't scale him to Tatsumaki's full power or anything like that, but like, mush Orochi impressing Psychos to the point that she thought he was stronger than his masked suppressed state that she knew her entire life, or, like, you know, the whole time that Orochi was around. Like, mush Orochi might unironically be above masked Orochi, above anything Psychos knew of Orochi, and then he unmasks himself, goes full power, performs a small planetary feat that is a better calculation than anything Sage or Ocean have. And Saitama uses a serious move to stalemate it, not even to deflect it, or to, like, not to overpower it, but stalemate it. The beam of, like, lava or water or whatever Saitama was in, it does not actually reach Orochi. Like, they straight up stalemated. Orochi stalemated a serious move. Granted, it was a squirt gun, but it's still an insane feat right there. And then he got one-punched, obviously, but he still lived, right? Like, he still has enough vitality to live afterwards and regenerate by absorbing other monsters. And normal punches obviously vary in strength. So, you know, it's not like... It's not super impressive, but like the very fact that he stalemated a serious move and his mush scales above Psycho's. Because Psycho's gained the God buff actually before fusing with Orochi. Or like in the middle of the fusion, but like she received the buff. So like that's, you can argue, the reason why she managed to overpower him to be the dominant one in the fusion. But like, other than that, Orochi has the Water Stream Fist. He has all those appendages, all those dragons. Pre-redraw, if you want to bring that up, he straight up stops a charge from Saitama and dodges several punches from him, which is also just ridiculous. Obviously, I'm not including that, but if we did, he could maybe even go higher. But for now, I would say Full Power Orochi. I personally do have him at the bottom of the top 10 in the series. Imagine using calcs on inverse scaling. This tier list is trash. I mean, you can say what you want. Do you think Orochi has Goketsu martial arts? Possibly. If they've ever sparred, he should. Boros in released form vapes and obliterates his guts. In defense of Sage, he was getting speed blitzed by someone faster than Platinum S. He is swinging his mandibles at top speed at Garo, bloodlusted, enraged, and he gets outsped 13 times by one-shotter. Over a big distance, too. Oh, I missed some stuff. There's $28 now. Wait, what? Or euro. Big Bad Ode, 999, 5 pounds. Orochi, simply him with a flex emojis. Thank you very much. Hold on, I'm so sorry I missed these. Hold on, let me go back in chat and check. Another diss track in production is crazy. Yep, he is. I do have one. I have written the lyrics already. If you don't push Plat above Orochi, I'm coming for you. Okay, Big Bag Dog, 10 pounds more. Glad to see Goketsu get the respect he deserves. Yeah, I do think he's very impressive. I do definitely think so. Okay, was there anything else? No, I think this was that. I'm not gonna lie, getting outsped by a normal helicopter is bad, yep. Metal batter of Orochi. You can make the argument. Sage Centipede is basically that one RPG dude who chose durability and regeneration over speed. Yeah. Alright, so now, moving on. I'm sorry I did skip a lot of chats. If you want to... I'll probably go back through the stream at some point or later and actually check the chats. But if... I'll be on here after I finish the list for a little bit more and we can still, like, talk a little bit before that. Or, like, after the list. But now moving on to, number 9 now. By the way, the calc thing I didn't bring up as, like, the be-all, end-all argument. I just brought it up as, like, subsidiary. So, like, I'm not relying on just the calc for the scaling of Orochi. But anyways, the next character up is going to be 10-second Genos in the strongest on Earth tier now. A whole tier above, yes, I know it sounds bad. But, like, I did the whole video of the One Punch Man characters are stronger than you think. And in that one, Genos does clash with Psychos Orochi equally for 10 seconds. And he clashes with multiple smaller beams at her as well, from her as well. Psychos Orochi, at that point, is in her prime state, and she believes she can turn Saitama into fodder before actually getting to that peak state. Okay, so there's Orochi, right? Gets one shot by Saitama. Then we have Psychos fusing with Orochi, gaining Orochi's memories enough to know that Saitama bullied Orochi, and she says she's gonna turn him into fodder, and then she absorbs power from the surrounding area through her roots and gets so much stronger that she goes from not impressing Tatsumaki at all to making her sweat and making her question where all that power came from. And Genos is clashing equally with that. So, yeah, Genos, I think Genos is super impressive. And then following up from that, we have Psycho Sorochi as well. Same exact scaling from before. Like, I've already talked about Psycho Sorochi so many times by now, so I'm not gonna bother doing that again. And then Full Power Tatsumaki, again, same deal, just above Psychos. Again, would place her a tier above, but I don't want to bloat the tier list too badly. So now Sage is at 12, Ocean Water at 11, then Orochi at 10, Genos at 9, 8 is Full Power Sairochi, and 7 is Full Power Tatsumaki. Now, Threat Level God, this one does only have a single character, and I believe you know who this man is, who this Giga Chad, this ultimate amalgamation of everything that is good in this universe, the ultimate Giga Chad dominator of everything, the soloer of Super Saiyan 3 Goku just because he looks like him but cooler, the Roaring Star Cannon equaling a percentage of a serious punch, the stated to be above Tatsumaki through various guides and statements from the back of the volumes, the one who did more damage, not more damage, but like who did more to impress Saitama than Tatsumaki did, considered strong by Saitama just from released forms punches. Not Meteoric Burst, not the Energy Blast, just released form punches made Saitama consider this man a strong opponent. Meanwhile, Tatsumaki is only pretty tough, and Garo is just a cosplayer. What else? Stated in the back of the volumes that straight up the balance and the fate of the Earth was in the hands of Saitama and Boros at that point. Of Saitama and this man. I didn't reveal the name yet. Don't look at the name yet. Of course, you don't know who I'm talking about yet. Of Saitama and this man, their battle would decide the fate of the Earth, meaning if this man actually won, he would have gone down there and slaughtered the rest of the S-Class with no trouble. In released form, stated to have rivaling abilities to Saitama, it is the man, the myth, the husbando, Lord Mother Flippin' Boros, baby. I mean, what else can I say about my goat, man? What else can I say about my goat? Top 6 in the series, absolute legend, the benchmark of power for this series for half a decade or more. I mean it's Boros. I mean it's my whole channel. So it's my whole channel at this point. Yeah, the Giga Chad, Lord Boros, is number 6. And now, numbers 5 and 4, not interchangeably, but not far apart either, are Void in the Cosmic Entities tier, and of course we have Blast, whom decided to vanish from the template. Let me find him. Where is this man? There we go. Blast at number 5 and Void at number 4. Now, Blast straight up reacts to Serious Saitama and teleports him and Garo and contains their punch for multiple seconds or instances at least until his team arrives to help him out and redirect it. That alone means he could do that same thing to the collapsing Star Roaring Cannon and just redirect it, teleport it away. And in terms of speed, relative to a Garo who copied Saitama at that point, I mean, pretty self-explanatory. And then Void beats him, like, pretty self-explanatory as well. Like, pretty clear why Void is above Blast and Blast is above Boros. Like, as much as I would love to argue Boros to these two scaling, I just can't. Like, I'm sorry. But Void did get clowned on by Saitama with a grip with 2 fingers. Meanwhile, Saitama actually used a serious punch on Boros, so therefore Boros is actually stronger. But don't let others hear that I said that, because they would come for me. But yeah, that's what I said. Anyways, moving on. Again, moving through these quicker now, because I have already talked about these characters a ton. I have Garo at his peak, post-IO, cosmic form, copied Saitama, grew exponentially, stated by the narrator, and shown on a graph to actually be much, much stronger than even Saitama was at the start of that battle. And I've seen some claim that, like, it was just, oh, the growth rate soared exponentially. No, it's straight up stated the power soared exponentially. Or the abilities in general. Not just the power, but the abilities. So like speed, durability, power, all of it soared exponentially during that battle due to Saitama's intense upsurge of emotions, and Garo was copying him all the way through. Like, he obviously eventually got, like, left in the dust, but for a while there he was copying Saitama's full power. Yes, I do think Saitama went all out there, and he did actually potentially scratch Saitama and give him a slight nosebleed. Potentially. Also, Meteoric Burst Release Boros might have potentially done something to Saitama there, but I'm not claiming anything. I'm not claiming anything. Not claiming a thing. I'm just saying potentially. But yeah, Garo, in general, just like, should be way above the blast that struggled to redirect their serious punch, whereas this Garo is exponentially stronger and faster. Or at least several, like, I think it was like 24 times, 25, something like that, according to the graph. Like, via, like, measuring the graph where it was at the bottom and where it was at the top for Garo. And then also Saitama just blatantly says, oh, the opponent I've been searching for. Why do I not feel at the slightest least excited at the prospect of fighting this guy who can take my hits and get up, you know, like, he verbatim says his dream has come true of fighting a strong opponent. So, yeah, just, I do believe Cosmic Garo is above Void. Maybe he couldn't copy the Dimensional Slash, because, like, it's stated to be something outside of the universe. Garo just copies stuff within the universe, but I already have a whole video otherwise of what I think about this matchup specifically. So I'll just leave it at that. And then numbers 1 and 2. Garo is at number 3. Numbers 1 and 2, obviously, Saitama and God. Pretty self-explanatory there. I do subscribe to the opinion that God is currently stronger than Saitama, because just a fraction of his power made Garo grow, like, close to Saitama. And, like, granted, Garo's copying shouldn't exactly scale to God per se, because, like, Garo did copy Saitama so much to get that strong. It's not just the boost from God. But God just looks at Garo, snaps his fingers, then just takes his powers away instantly. Like, if Garo was in a whole other league above God by then, even if he was tied to God, do you really think God would just, like, snap his fingers and just kill Garo on the spot? Like, even via, like, their link or whatever they have, if Garo was, like, stronger than God, I mean, obviously he's not gonna be, just the narrative, he's not gonna be stronger than God, and he already forced Saitama to grow so much to beat him via his copying, and obviously God is gonna be way stronger than Peak Garo, so I do believe currently God should be above. At the same time, though, there is one single statement that when Saitama reached his peak against Garo, nobody could perceive his power anymore. And it stated that, like, once again, there was nobody who could measure what heights his power had reached, which might include God. But, like, measuring something and being above it isn't, like, the exact same thing. Like, it's weird. I still think God currently is gonna be above current Saitama, but I do think end of series Saitama is gonna be stronger. But yeah, this would be my tier list. I'm sorry this took so long, and I'm sorry that it's bad. It's obviously terrible. Like, obviously it's a trash tier list, especially the Orochi placement above Sage. Obviously the most garbage placement one could have. But yeah, this was my tier list personally. So yeah, that would be it for the tier list. Oh, I see. Oh, there we go. Kryptonite Gamer as well. £19, £20 actually. Thank you very much. Stop glazing Saitama, he's the weakest of all the heroes. King was the guy who did all that stuff. Yep, yes sir, yes sir. Yes sir. King is the one true god. I just didn't put him in the top because that's an obvious placement. Like, obviously, King is at the top, but I just wanted to give room for more characters to show off. Does bro rechat? And now I will. I did say that at the start of the stream, I probably should have repeated it more times, but I did say that while I do the tier list, I wouldn't be looking at chat because I want this to be like somewhat of a, you can go back and watch it and actually like know what's going on without that much interruption. When Boros fractures Saitama's skull. Oh yeah, right. Yep. Hold on, let me get the frame. Let me get the frame. I will show you. I will show you. Oh, hold on. Oh, I don't want to get copyrighted by the music. Hopefully that doesn't do it. I will show you the exact panel. And yes, I have the fight on my computer. Obviously I do. It's on my desktop. What do you think? What do you expect? Okay, it's right here. Let me just pause it on the right moment. Hold up. Oh, I missed it. Hold up. Gotta pause it right. Ah, damn it, I missed it again. Can I slow it down here? I need to find the... Yep, there we go, there we go. There's the frame I love. There's the frame I love. I'm sorry I don't see the chat right now, because I'm looking at something else, but... real quick, I'm just gonna show this to you. I'm gonna put it up on stream right now for all to see what kind of a beast Boros is. Do you see this? Do you see what I see here? So what happens here is I'm gonna explain it to you. I'm gonna explain it to you what happened here. Boros shattered Saitama's pelvis and actually forced him to adapt. For a moment, Saitama grew exponentially stronger the same way against Garo. The same way he did against Garo. The same way he did against Garo. His emotions surged. And he adapted. And he instantly, before he even knew it, he regenerated. And he grew exponentially stronger. But it was so fast that he didn't notice what happened. Therefore, Boros is actually stronger than Saitama. I said it. Saitama had to grow exponentially to beat Boros. I said it. Yeah, I did. Also I forgot to mention, Saitama blatantly says Boros is almost a real fight. Hold on, are we back? Okay, we're back. OBS did something funny. Boros went easy on Saitama because he didn't want to steal his series like he did. Yep. With Sunman 20 years ago. Yeah, that's like also a wild fact. There was like another manga by One, and Boros was just too strong there. Like he just blatantly, he was there as a character and he was too strong there. Satoru was secretly part of the studios that could give Boros better feats in the anime. Yep. Existence just won't let Saitama die. Nah, both feats are crazy. Also, Saitama got knocked to the moon so fast he was confused what happened. Yep, yes sir. Hold on, let me fix the tier list real quick. Let me fix the tier list real quick. Let me just correct the placement. There we go. That is the correct placement, as things should be. Saitama just regenerated his bones. Yeah, he adapted. Saitama has all sorts of like weird reality warping powers, right? Like he grabs like subspace portals. Like what's a little regeneration to him? He breathes in space. You don't see tier list? You should now. You should see it now. It shows to me that you should see it. Meteoric burst should be above. Yep, yes sir. Third time repeating this, Lord Boros, Saitama Pelvis Breaker, yep. And people say he's multi-continental, yeah. Fifth dimensional. Truly Marata intention, trust, yep. Boros destroyed Saitama's pelvis, is he freaky? It's honestly so sad you can't argue Boros over Blast even with this, unless... You could maybe, but like, probably not. Could what if Boros performed this feat? Who knows? It is just a flesh wound. You can argue Boros over Blast. It's extremely difficult. Saitama, who needs a skull? Armored Boros versus Orochi. I actually do plan to do a video where basically I do go over Armored Boros scaling as much as there is of it. One Punch Man is actually in reference to Boros, not Saitama. Yes, sir. There's a large void between everyone and Boros, but that void exists between Boros and the cosmic entities. I don't think that it's like... I do think that the gap between Boros and everybody else below him is insanely massive. And I don't think that the gap between him and the cosmic entities is that large. But yeah, it is still a large gap. What if Boros turned good Boros is actually baseline hyperversal? Yep. Due to destroying that black hole. Are you still going to rank the characters' different forms? Yeah, I can. One moment. I'll read the chat a little bit more and then we'll do that. The only thing I really disagree in the tier list is Ninja Duo and Ninja Clan individually stronger than Atomic Samurai. I mean, it's kind of unfortunate, like... It's sad that it is that way, and I don't like it. I don't like this current arc, if I'm being honest, but it just kind of is. At least in my eyes. How would you feel if we find out Boros was above Young Bang and Void? I would be... Well, Young Blast and Void. I would be super happy. Alright, so I can do like the different forms real quick. But only a few. I'll do Garo and like Golden S. So Garo... I'll just say versus Royal Ripper, he's like somewhere around here. Then versus Royal Ripper's second match, he is above these guys. With Bug God, it's like contentious. And with the S-Class, it's also contentious at this point. Like, definitively, he is definitely here, bare minimum, but he could be argued above the S-Class heroes too now. So, like, somewhere around here. Then versus Rover, it's hard to gauge, but, like, I cannot see Gum surviving those blasts, if I'm gonna be honest. Probably, like, here. Like, he still does better than Fubuki overall. Then... these are just real quick placements. I haven't thought of them much, so, like... Take these with a grain of salt. And then versus Orochi. Like like these forms right here, they have no concrete scaling. Like these, like up until like Darkshine. Darkshine, like he gets one shot by Darkshine, but like Garo versus Goro is like just basically the same. Versus Orochi, he does better against the horns than Child Emperor thought he would do. So he's like probably here. And then versus Darkshine, he's definitely a tier below Darkshine, so like they're just both in mid cadre, top of mid cadre. Spiral Garo, obviously rival to Darkshine. Versus Bomb would be a rival to like Fatigued Bomb, which is like probably around here. Like super fatigued nerfed Bomb. And then versus Bang here. Versus Platinum S and Garo initially like around here as well. Just like above Bang, but not by like an insane amount. Versus Platinum, he's like bottom of above Dragon then. Probably, because he grows massively. And like the gaps between these fighters up until Psychos is not big. Like the gaps between the peak cadre tier are minuscule for the most part. Until we get to Psychos and Platinum. And then Garo one-shots Platinum, or two-shots Platinum. Then Resonance Amp, above Orochi, I would imagine. Because he's bullying Sage completely, like, it's only the regeneration that really carries him. Perfected Fist. Okay, the thing is, the power gap, again, I think is insane between, like, the strongest on Earth tier and the above Dragon tier. I would recommend checking out the video that I did on the strongest in One Punch Man for that one. Second form, again, the increases are kind of unquantifiable, so it's really hard to gauge. But like in terms of sheer power, I'd probably say something like this. Like this, maybe. In terms of like a matchup or skill, I do think Garo beats Tatsumaki via Fajin and speed, like superior speed. So like I will place him above. Like it can be like this, maybe. But like again, like the increases he receives are kind of unquantifiable. So like, in terms of raw power, I take Tatsumaki over 4-form Garo. But I would say Garo is like more likely to win that one. And then Initial Cosmic alongside Boros, they do like the same speed blitz feed on Saitama. Like he has a very similar phase. They both do like some sort of scratch or damage. You know, like versus Blast, he's like relative to Blast. And then Initial IO. Alright, that's the next up. Where are the Garos? Dude, I lost the Garos. Where are they? Oh, there we go. Initial IO? I think Initial IO against Awakened Void might be like a good fight. I'll also do Released Boros just for the fun of it. I think he's here. I think he's still a tier above. I'm the ultimate Boros glazer. So like, yep. You know, Saitama called Tatsumaki strong the same. He called him tough. He called her tough in like a playful manner. It's not the same as him seriously like with a straight face saying to Boros, "You're strong" 2 times, and then saying it another time to Genos like he was the strongest. So like it's not the same in my eyes. The Monster Garo downplay is actually crazy. Peak Monster Garo one-shots Tatsumaki. Only with Fajin in my eyes. Only with Fajin. I'm sort of on the Tatsumaki Boros train more than the Garo train. His expression doesn't mean anything. I mean, he blatantly has a playful fight with Tatsumaki, not doing a single thing to her, not ever doing one punch, and then saying, "Oh yeah, you're pretty tough." Meanwhile, against Boros, it's like trading punches, and then he's like, "Yeah, you're strong. Oh, you're still conscious? You really are strong." Yeah, but he was strong. Maybe the strongest ever. Like, that's verbatim the words he says to Boros and Genos. Meanwhile, Tatsumaki's like, yeah, you're pretty tough. Cosmic Arrow and Meteoric Burst should be a tier above in my opinion. Yeah, probably. One mutant growth of Garo is an increase greater than beginning of series Genos to 10-second Genos, and Saitama can actually tell he got better. Saitama can actually tell Genos got better when Genos fights Sonic. Like, he's straight up, when you read that fight, he straight up says Genos is better now. Well, I'm not gonna start a debate now, but like, he threw a punch, and he did blast his arm off. But he was blocking every punch from Boros. Like, he was blocking all the hits and catching them and going two-armed against one arm of Boros. Way more serious than he was against Garo. Because with Garo, he was a cosplayer to him. And he was blocking him with one arm, playfully teasing him. Meanwhile, with Boros, it's like seriously saying, yeah, you're strong. And getting outsped with two arms. Compared to Boros' one. Like, it's a whole, like... It's a slippery slope, but like... I do think Boros is way above. Personally. Please rank the forms of Void too. I mean, we don't really know the scaling to them. We don't really know the scaling to, like, the forms. Because, like, where do these guys... Like, Monsterized, okay, like, he tangos with Blast for, like, a moment, and then what? What happens then? Like... We don't really know he's, like, here or something. Like, Cosmic Entity, obviously, but then... Monsterized Void before the redraw, he's, like... His best feat is Platinum S level. Like... Maybe a tier above, and it's like, obviously he's much stronger, but like, he didn't do anything before the redraw. And then Human Void, we also can't really tell, so it's kind of difficult to rank Void. And like, I get a lot of people are gonna have different opinions, like that's the whole point, like obviously everybody has different opinions, so... We need to wait for Saitama versus Void. I mean, we already saw it, kind of. Do you believe there are any other ways that for anime or future manga to make statements that upscale Boros? There definitely are. There definitely are ways, I would imagine. Who's more glazed, Marugori or Sage? Marugori for sure. Because I think Sage's, like, standing in the fandom is justified, whereas Marugori's isn't. Personally. Where would the meteor go? The meteor... Like, Bang sees Saitama do it and he's like, oh, that's like the strongest person I know. But then at the same time, in the other, like... In the other anime OVAs, he's like, what would happen if Saitama punched me? Could I deflect it with a water stream? So it's like... In terms of sheer scale, he can't destroy the meteor, but like, in terms of the AP that it carries, he might be able to deflect it, according to the anime at least. But for the meteor, where it caps is Goketsu, definitely. Because Genos sees Goketsu, and he knows Saitama destroyed the meteor, and he compares Goketsu's strength to the meteor, so that's where kind of the meteor would cap off. What about pre-redraw Phoenix Man, though? Pre-redraw, I did address it earlier in the stream. Post-resurrection, he's like top of mid-cadre tier. Oh wait, I'm using the wrong template. Let me turn off the alt template. Because I get confused with it. The meteor. The meteor basically goes below Goketsu, like I already explained, and then Phoenix Man before the redraw, or after the redraw, he goes like slightly above Brave Giant, I would say. Like something like that. Off the top of my head. Do you plan to do a What If Boros official power scaling video? That would be really interesting. That could be fun. We'll see. I do want to, at least for now, keep... At least for now, I want to keep it vague. And for you guys to, like, see it. And, like, think about it, figure it out. Just, like, I want to see how people interpret it. Still don't understand why Bang was there for the meteor. He can't stop. Like, bro, you want to die? He justifies it by saying that his dojo is there and, like, he doesn't want to abandon it. Where would Cosmic Flame Phoenix Man scale if I drew him? Dude, I would love to see you draw the Phoenix Man. Cosmic Flame, right? Yeah. Cosmic Flame. That would be sick. But in terms of scaling, he's blatantly above Meteoric Burst Boros from the What If. So he's like, he would go in the Cosmic Entities tier. He's above Blast as well. If you wanted to include the What If. Episode 7 must live up to the hype and gore Satori. I'm hoping it will. I do think it will. The script is complete. I'm just going through like some revisions and then I'm gonna start. I have recorded a bit, but not that much yet. I've been busy in real life, so kind of. Baboin, let's go analyze 15 hours of audio video. Where does Santa Boros scale? I mean, he's like Kenji level, so Kenji is like stated to be as strong as Darkshine, but at that point I had Darkshine above Rover in my like scaling journey, which I don't subscribe to that take anymore, so now he scales above Rover. Where would you scale the bonus chapter aliens that had planetary AP? Below Tatsumaki and Sairochi, personally, but above Orochi. Where would you put Saitama right before he lost his hair? I don't think it's possible to quantify. Because, like, actually it is. Tatsumaki tried her full power against him and it didn't work. So I would say above Tatsumaki. I was gonna say everybody has a different limiter, so it's like we don't know where his was, but yeah. Where does r/One Punch Man next Boros scale? Yeah, he is above the tier list. Like, he couldn't be contained. Orochi being Continental Max. Nah, I don't agree with that one. By the way, Natural Excitement, are you like... Okay, you remind me of Natty, right? Are you Natty or not? Like, in terms of the name. Q&A time? Yeah, for a bit. It's already 10 though, so I won't be sticking around for too much longer. Where would Boros' ship be? Again, I'll do like a video scaling Armored Boros and the ship. Because you need to scale the ship to scale Armored Boros. So we'll talk about that more then. Right, but I'll probably go pretty soon, so if you guys have any more things to ask. Versus Battle Wiki put Boros at country level. This is why I don't take Versus Battle Wiki seriously. I only use the calcs. And, like, the tiering system in general. I'm that guy. I'm Rose traumatized from Natty. No, it's just like I don't think I've ever agreed with Natty on anything. Armored Boros is above Platinum S, I would say. Perhaps. Remember, Boros said he would destroy the surface of the planet. I would recommend watching like my 10,000 other videos I did on Boros for that. I don't agree with it, personally. Hello, Natty, nice to see you. You need to do a vid scaling all the characters from your What If series. I did do one stream a long time ago, but it's very outdated now. We kinda agree on Platinum S, the big W. Maybe. What's up with that space slash thing? I didn't read the manga Ninja Arc. It's like stated to be like ignore distance, energy, and size, but then we blatantly see it traveling and characters reacting to it. So it's really weird. Put Boros at the top. I'm sorry. Apologies. My deepest apologies. My deepest apologies. I am so sorry. There we go, fixed. Now it's fixed. Now you can see the whole tier list. There we go. That's the tier list. I would change the names of the tiers, but like I have like my recording stuff in front of the keyboard, and it's kind of inconvenient to type. Do you think Saitama's current level in the manga is universal? I think it's possible to argue for it. Around when will the new part going to be out? Tough to say. Like, I really hope I can get it out early February, but I'm not too sure. Now it's the best tier list ever made. Yeah, perfect. Yep. Remember, Psycho Sorochi is only multi-continental, planetary in my eyes, but I can see where you're coming from. I do kind of believe Yasin's way of scaling Dimension Slash. It's a valid way to scale it, but like, I do think it's really weird for Blast to have like this one motion that's like an entire, not like an entire speed tier above him, but an entire like, almost like dimensional tier. Like he goes from like a dimension higher in speed. Like obviously there's no dimensional tiering in speed, but like that's kind of the argument. Like he goes from a finite speed to an infinite one. Like that's really weird to that extent. At least to me. Cybermen are pretty strong, easily entering the 3-digit Yodaton territory. I don't scale in Yodatons or tons of TNT in general. I just scale in joules. It's much easier for me that way. Have you seen Yasin's video on Voice of It versus Garo? Yeah, I have. The only good thing about versus battles is calculations and hacks list. The rest of the things are crap. I would agree. Put Bug God above Tank Top Master? I don't think he would be though, because Garo only beat Tank Top Master via like giving him a concussion from his own force and then just wailing on him when he had the chance. Like, because he straight up just redirected Master's own strength back at him when Master was already like off guard. Like, not like off guard, but he was already convinced that Garo was like done for. And like suddenly Garo just pulls out a completely new move, redirects his own punch back at him at twice the force to his chin, gives him a concussion, and then just wails on him while he's dazed. Attacking specifically joints and like inner organs. Could Garo grab portals like Saitama after seeing him do it? I believe he might be able to. Comparably to almost anyone, Boros and Garo or him. Yes, we do agree on that. Tank Top Master can scratch Bug God. I mean, he can resist Gums' Bite Force, who is a cadre, stated just definitively to be via the Monster Association hierarchy, to be above any demon of the association. Will episode 8 be longer than episode 7? No. Episode 7 is already 16,000 words. It was originally going to be a 2-hour 20k word video, but then it stretched out into like 25,000 words, and like it still wasn't nearly even finished. Like it would have been 3 hours, so I just cut it. Like 1 hour. One video is gonna be like an hour 40 minutes, something like that probably, and then another is gonna be like an hour 20, or like just an hour. Put Psychos above Flat. I don't know. It's a pretty debatable fight, I would say. Can you put the tier list in the description or a message? Yeah, I can. It's a very good tier list made by Mr. Perfect Cell. So I can plop it into the chat. There we go. Boros speed ran the Monster Association in your What If series? Yeah. Even without Cosmic, Pigaro beats everyone but Boros? Probably. Could Gear 5 Luffy stand a chance against Tatsumaki? I have only seen the first 50 episodes of One Piece, so I can't really say. By that logic, G5 should be way higher because Bug got under base Phoenix Man in the pecking order under G5. Why is G5 over Phoenix Man though? Just like for the slaughtering thing. I mean, maybe it could be. G5 could maybe go higher. Like, maybe. We don't know if Phoenix Man is aware of Bug God's transformed state, though. So it's like, it's fine. I'm fine with G5 being, like, anywhere in the near cadre tier, pretty much. Don't you dare kill Metalbat Sister in the What If. What other crazy feats do you think Saitama will pull off casually? I'm not sure. They can go a number of different directions with that. Satori, do you believe What If Boros Turn Good should be very dark, or are you fine still keeping it light? There will be light in it, but it's gonna be a lot darker than it used to be for this next segment, for sure. I do want to try out the darker style. Kill both girls in the What If, hell snowballs. Strongest character that Bang could one-shot with his Exploding Heart Release Fist. Hard to say. I think he could have beaten Garo with it for sure. Because he already damaged him without the Exploding Heart Release Fist. Reminded that base Kaba is above this tier list? Nobody asked. How strong do you have Plat right now in the What If? Spoilers. I'm not saying anything about that currently. Who aura farms the most in One Punch Man? Probably Garo, right? Probably Garo, because he always strikes the hardest poses for no reason. Like I said 2 times, What If Boros Turn Good shouldn't be too dark because then it becomes edgy. It just becomes edgy. I mean, depends on what you think is like edgy or not. Because like different people have completely different tastes, and like everybody wants me to make it dark. Not everybody, but like a lot. Platinum S is the biggest aura farmer? Perhaps. You know the cat that scratched Saitama and that mosquito that survived Saitama slaps will be the strongest? Yep. How strong do you think Cosmic Saitama would be? I mean, we already have, like, Saitama as, like, the second strongest. Giving him God powers is just gonna make him, like, the first strongest or something, and that's kind of it. Like, that's That's the only thing that changes in his placement. Platinum S has the right to be dark. Atomic Samurai, Unlimited Sunblade versus All Samurai and Record of Ragnarok. Oh, Sasaki absolutely demolishes. In my eyes, at least. Dude, Sasaki has, like, the universe telling him what his opponent is about to do. Verbatim. The universe and all of creation is telling him in advance, like, tens of thousands of moves in advance, what Atomic will do. And he has speed to keep up with Poseidon, who can be scaled to like 1 billion times FTL if you want to be really edgy with it. And if you don't want to be edgy with it, it's still like hundreds of times FTL. It can be that, so like it's still real bad. Satoru Orochi's dead body still have a bit of that power from Final Orochi? A little bit. That's why Psycho Orochi in that What If is like relative to Tatsumaki. Like retroactively. Sort of fills in the gap. Saitama versus Record of Ragnarok. Yasin already did that video, so I won't be doing that again, but like, Saitama should win. He does have better scaling. Goketsu versus Golden S. Personally, I think Goketsu. Like, Golden S, actually I haven't placed him in the tier list, so I can add him real quick. Golden S, I think he's like here. He's like right alongside Atomic with a Sunblade. I don't really think he's that impressive personally. Want to see Boros oiled up in the next episode? What in the what? Goketsu can scratch Golden S. Goketsu scales way higher than Dark Shine and Golden S, in my opinion. Do you glaze Hades more than Boros? I actually have an entire... Dude, you want me to read the comic that I have? Let me see if I have it on me or not. I can show you the true extent of the glaze. And just give me a little bit of time. There, I found it. Now how do I share this without doxing myself? Actually, right now is fine. Guys, do you want to see the Hades versus Boros comic? Because it is long, it's like 80 pages. When will you do a Boros rap? I do have it written out and everything, but like, I don't know. Goketsu having such a short screen time with so much potential is disappointing. Yeah. Which is why he's alive in my What If. There's One Piece scaling going on in the chat. How strong is What If Boros crashing out? Not gonna say anything. Again, I'm not gonna spoil anything. Oh, the music has ended. I don't know if I have time for that one, though, because it's long. When do you think you will make Boros vs. Madara? I do want to make it. It is gonna be one of the, like, nearer power scaling videos that are coming. But when, I can't exactly say. Sometime in spring, probably. Will you make Platinum S Cosmic Mode? Again, I can't say. I cannot say a thing. How do I put this up on the screen, though? I feel like Platinum S won't be a threat. Mara tramples Boros, lots of hacks and regeneration. We shall see. We shall see. Do it in another video? Yeah, maybe another. Yeah, I'll do it another time. Natty, do you think Platinum is going to become Platinum Man or Diamond S as his power up? Jump him, jump him. Jump who? Cosmic Plattle would be the less interesting option, to be honest. What's your thoughts on Kalego Sensei? I don't really know who that is. Will you give Boros a cosmic mode? I mean, he would have to accept a deal from God, which I'll let you think if that's likely or if it's not likely. I don't know. I can't say much. Are you planning to do more mini-ifs? Perhaps. Do you think peak Sairochi was stronger than full power Tatsumaki? The shield reversal feat is against a super suppressed Tatsumaki, so I don't think she is above her. I think like Tatsumaki at full power just casually catches beams from Sairochi and just knocks them away. And then one-shots her. Cosmic Burst Boros versus Empty Boros. No competition. Like, unironically, no competition there. What do you plan to do with Goketsu in the what if it's possible not to spoil? I mean, you answered yourself, kinda. Like, without spoilers, I can't really do anything. I can't really say anything. Will you ever continue the Kushina what if? I want to, but, like, nobody watches it. Like, I'm sad because of that, but, like... Epic Gladiator? I am not reading that. Boros would not accept God's power. He literally sick of being the strongest. Yep. What if Psychos was actually as strong as Tatsumaki? Oh, the story changes a lot. Like, they fight in the underground and everybody dies in the crossfire. Satsuri, if you kept Psychos alive after the three-way fight, what would you have done with her character in the what if? I would have to think about it. Off the top of my head, I don't really know. White sperm will go super hard, I agree. Going the full circle and becoming white would be really interesting and feel really final. He should use his Orochi powers, IQ 100 appendages to slowly chip away at the heroes until he has to face Boros. Then it should be a Saitama versus Boros-like situation, but in reverse or more even. We'll see. I loved the Kushina what if, sadly. Yeah, it's really fun to do, and I enjoyed it a lot, but like... I'll see, maybe when the time is right I'll bring it back. Who has more potential, Platinum S or Orochi? If you go with the Platinum S, from like the way I interpreted him in the what if, easily Platinum S, but if you discard it, then it's difficult to say. We do know that the more protein he consumes, the stronger he becomes, or the more cells he gets, because he himself says that. So, like, depending on who he consumes, he might be crazy. Saturday deserves 500k subs, if not more. He's such a cool guy and deserves all the glaze. Thank you very much. I do wish to get there someday. Is it possible for Saitama to face any threats without God interfering? What if Psychos didn't get her prediction? What if Psychos never turned evil? That could be a cool one. The Monster Association just never happens. There's no Orochi. Like, so much stuff that just doesn't happen. Do you think Fubuki can match up to Psychos and Tatsumaki's power level one day? If she gets like an insane training arc, perhaps. What if Garo actually worked with the Monster Association? That could be a fun one. Now that you have more experience in writing stories, you could remake the Naruto what ifs. Maybe, but again, like, is the audience there for it is the question. Because, like, I love to make them, but they take a ton of time. Like, I have to, like, pick and choose what videos I do and what I don't. Because, like, there's so little time to do them. Maybe in the future when I have more. S saw the Zero Punch. S has top 5 potential. In reaction speed, yeah, but at the same time he's getting slaughtered in the thousands by the swordsmen and stuff, so it's like, What if Fubuki was as strong as Psychos? Oh lord. Off the top of my head, she just instantly washes Does. She impresses Saitama more, but obviously doesn't, like, even come close to winning or anything like that. She completely, like, decimates Sonic and Genos whenever they go at it. If she intervenes, she might not intervene. Then in the Monster Association arc, she comes in confident, obviously. She just absolutely demolishes Rover. Maybe like mid-diff at most. And then Psycho Sorochi still comes out, so it's like not really that big a change there. Like Psycho's leveled Fubuki is not making a change there, but then in the surface battle, she would make all the difference. She would wash the cadres for the most part. What if Saitama never existed, but this time Boros never appeared? That could be a fun one. Did you play or watch Minecraft Story Mode? I watched Popular MMOs play through all of it. Kisame over Boros over Madara. Kisame is over Madara, but over Boros, I'm not too sure. I think Boros is above. Do you think Platinum S is going to get close to AM in evilness? I don't know who AM is, so... I'd be down for Naruto what ifs. I'm glad to hear that, but how many people would be? Oh boy, and I have a fanfic making that's basically the same idea, but she's an equal to Tatsumaki instead. The story just doesn't happen. Or like, it barely happens. Is the next episode gonna be as brutal as Terrifier? I have not seen Terrifier. Do you agree Boros was nerfed in your part 2 when he fights Orochi? No, he was not. He was not nerfed. Orochi is just that guy there. What would you put Boros and what if Boros turned good in this list? Okay, no spoilers, end of season 1, alright? End of season 1 Boros is above Blast, but below Void, probably. Actually, maybe even above. It's like, it's questionable there, end of season 1. Because, like, Void is pretty relative to Blast, and Blast is relative to Boros, but Boros is clearly, like, has a pretty decent edge now. End of season 1 versus Tatsumaki. Or with Tatsumaki, I mean. But that's like Meteoric Burst, which he still does not like to use at all. But he's not touching, like, Cosmic Garo just yet, at his peak. Did you see the fan animation of Monster Garo vs. Boros? I have, and I do use it sometimes in my what ifs and stuff. In which verses do you think Boros' character fits perfectly, whether as a force of character and a story? Dragon Ball, 1,000,000,000%, like, fits so insanely well. Naruto, I do have, like, a little narrative going with, like, at the very start of Boros vs. Madara, there's, like, a little tiny segment where, like, Madara is thirsting for battle after completing the Infinite Tsukuyomi plan, and then Boros touches down, and then the two of them sense each other and smile, and it's like, yeah, finally a battle, you know, like, just sort of to hype it up. Six Paths Kisame versus Boros. Now that's tougher. I think he'll push Boros to Meteoric Burst. AM is much more evil than Platinum S can imagine. What is AM and what does it do? AM is a horror story. I have no math. I must scream. I find it funny because you use Shigaraki as an example of one of the villains Platinum S is inspired by, but Shigaraki is evil, but he still has a heart. But it's only like certain aspects of them that are inspired. So like for example, with Shigaraki, his evilness is there, and like his cool factor and stuff, but like the heart, I'm gonna just say it's not there. The heart is not there. What if Bang & Bomb switch place with Flash at the start of the Monster Association arc? That's a fun one. Like Flash versus Rover and Bang & Bomb versus Hellfire and Gale would be both of those battles would go hard. Witherstorm versus Orochi and Tatsumaki. If you go with the Universal Steve meta, Witherstorm, but if not, Tatsumaki. Invincible would fit pretty well, yeah. I just realized that Platinum absorbs that version of Orochi now. He legit washes everyone but Boros and Blast. The thing is, Orochi isn't that strong. Like, Orochi was that guy, but then later, like, he does lose most of his power. Like, he keeps traces of it, and that's why Psycho's Orochi is more powerful. Like, they're stronger than canon, but they're not, like, as strong as Orochi was when he fought Boros. Boros lands on Earth when Kage arrives and is disappointed because he's already fought Otsutsuki. Platinum S has a heart, LMAO. What do you think about Goku versus Saitama? I'm siding with Goku personally. For now, I don't think Satoru is as wild as Copy AM evilness. Now, Platinum S has one, however, its only purpose is to push blood through his body. Maybe. But how do they break the command block? Probably just like toss it into space. It kills all humans on Earth and keeps 5 of them to torture for all eternity, pretty much. I mean, no spoilers, but like Platinum S does some pretty ridiculous stuff. Is Boros above Empty Void? I mean, he... don't let me tell you no. Kisame is that guy. I see what you did there. Ragna, Crimson, or Versus. I have not read either, unfortunately. I feel like Platinum S's evilness is definitely inspired by Sukuna the most. Sukuna and Cell and Majin Buu and All for One and lots of others. How would Cosmic Fear Garo fares against Aizen's Hogyoku form? While being resistant to Aizen's Kyoka Perfect Hypnosis from affecting his senses, could he keep up with the Hogyoku power amps? It's hard to say. I don't really scale Bleach that much, so I can't really say that much. Could Boros be Genos in a chess match? Give him, like, prep time to learn what chess is and, like, practice strategies and whatnot, and maybe? We don't really know. Cosmic Moomin Rider versus Homeless Emperor. Cosmic Moomin Rider would win then. Because Moomin Rider is already stronger than Homeless Emperor was as a regular guy. And then we get Cosmic, which is a bigger boost than what Homeless Emperor got. What about God versus Goku? It's weird to say because we haven't even seen what they can do. Do we agree that Saitama won't struggle in Sukuna's Malevolent Shrine? Yeah, definitely not. He definitely won't struggle. I hope Watchdog Man dies and what if Boros turn good? Who are your top 5 favorite Naruto characters? Off the top of my head, definitely Pain, then Kisame, then Kakashi, then probably Obito and Naruto. Something like that. Tatsumaki versus One Piece. Again, I don't really scale One Piece, unfortunately. I've only seen the first 50 episodes. Ian is going to get the golden S arm that was cut off as a buff. Satoru, do you consider Bowser to be a god-level threat? I don't really know, because I haven't played Mario or anything like that. God would defeat Goku at least 3 times before his plot armor saves him the 4th time. The stream just became the longest stream on the channel. Congrats. Thanks. Why does the thing keep going down? Why does the tier list keep disappearing? Oh, there it is. Oh, the OBS just messed up. Bro, forget Daedra. Daedra is like 9 or 8, I think. Daedra is like up there. Like, he's still one of my favorites. Hold on, I had a tier list, like, already built for that. Let me see. In my Discord server, I gave like a bunch of tier lists one time because I was like restrained and had nothing better to do. And I couldn't work on anything, so I just did a bunch of tier lists. Daedra... Oh, Daedra was number 5 actually, above Naruto. In that tier list. I would agree, like Daedra is like interchangeable with Naruto. And then Orochimaru is 7. At number 8 I have Kakuzu, at 9 Killer Bee, and at 10 Jiraiya, 11 Kabuto, 13 Madara, 15 Guy, then Itachi, then Sasori, Hidan, Konan, Sasuke. Kakuzu might be a shocker, but I just think he's super cool. Cell Saga Saitama being generous. I don't really care that much for how late Saitama scales, honestly. I find the early series to be much more interesting scaling-wise. Just like from the demons to Boros is like where my specialty is. Favorite Hunter x Hunter characters? Hunter x Hunter, the top 10 were Killua 1, then Meruem at 2, Netero at 3, Chrollo at 4, then Pito at 5, Hisoka at 6, 7 Morel, 8 Kurapika, 9 Gon, 10 Poof. Hey, I might inspire to make Dark Brutal series. Perhaps. You uploaded a short about your 10 favorite Naruto characters? Yeah, but my opinion probably has changed a little bit since then. Are you going to do the webcomic route for Garo and What If Boros Turned Good? I'm doing something different entirely, actually. Like, it's got elements of both, the manga and the webcomic, but I'm doing something different with this character and where it goes. Alright, but I think we're gonna go now, because it's been 3.5 hours, actually. That's pretty wild. It has not felt like that long. So yeah, I think we're gonna end it here. So thank you all guys for tuning in. Thank you for everybody who donated. Like, this right here just paid for an artwork that I wanted to make today, but I couldn't because I was broke because I paid for an animation. But anyway, yeah. But yeah, you guys basically just paid for that big thing that I wanted to do today, but I couldn't yet. So thank you all guys very much. It's been an honor defending Orochi's honor with you gentlemen. Who got winning heavy Sasuke or Sage Naruto? Sage Naruto for sure. I do get the heavy Sasuke upscales. I have heard all the arguments. Like, they're decent, but I do think there is better arguments for Sage Naruto. Honestly, I don't think Garo is gonna reach Boros level in or What If Boros Turned Good, or it seems too strong for him. Perhaps. We'll see. Right, so, yeah, goodbye everybody. Hope you have a good rest of your day, whether it be night or evening or morning, you know. Hope it goes well. And see you next time. I'll see if it's gonna be a stream or a video. We shall see. Expect the trailer for What If Boros Turned Good, like the upcoming arc. Probably around like 2 to 3 weeks from now, at most. And yeah, see you later. Goodbye.